Creed, Willie Gay, Travis Kelce, Juan Thornhill. All of those guys taken with that number 63 pick overall. Not that that matters, but that's interesting to say, have they ever had success at that pick? They've not only had success at that pick, they've cleaned up at pick number 63. I think you could say definitely one Hall of Famer, maybe a second with Creed Humphrey. I don't know if he continues to be the best center of his era. You go into the Hall of Fame. I don't know.
Jason Kelce will.
Kelce will go into the Hall of Fame, right? Creed Humphrey could go into the Hall of Fame. And Willie Gay was a hell of a football player, and so was Juan Thornhill for a while here in Kansas City. So they made a lot of hay, if you will, at that number 63 overall pick. I'm excited to watch this kid, man. I'm just excited to watch him get after it. And you've watched a lot of Tennessee volunteer football, whether you volunteered to watch it or not. You watched it. What do you think of this kid? You know better than us.
Man, I think he's great against the runs, awesome against the pass. You heard the pass rush win rate stat from Jay Binkley. But you hear people hear rotational, Bob, and they're like, oh, I mean, he can't get on the field enough. No, like that's a system. That's a style of play that Tennessee's played and that Kansas City does a lot here with their big men. Every couple downs, Chris Jones, best defensive tackle in football, he plays 70% of the snaps or so. There's a good 30% of the snaps where he's not on the field.
Does he play that many? Is he really in that big a...
You're right. Usually it's less. This year was a high percentage of snaps. He was up because we needed it. We didn't have the depth. Right. And we're saying, he's over 30. We need to stop that. We need to save his snaps as much as we can. Norman Lott, it'd be like saying, oh, Jahmyr Gibbs isn't that good because Montgomery's on the field. He's a rotational back. It's like, no. They're saving him. They're being smart. They want him to last longer. Norman Lott is going to be a day one impact player for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I agree with you on that, and I also agree with the rotational thing. Steve Spagnuolo has had a history in the NFL of having a rotational defensive line. That's what first beat Tom Brady in that Super Bowl when he was with the Giants. They were 8 deep on that defensive line. When were the Chiefs at their best on defense? When they could go deep on that defensive line. And they lost a lot of good depth. Derek Notty's gone, obviously. Turk Wharton's gone. Those are good football players. You have to replace those football players. And so they took that first step in going out there, obviously signing Jerry Tillery this offseason. We'll see what that amounts to. But this draft pick is not only, again, as we talked about last week with Mitch, and we've talked about a lot on this show, this wasn't a draft pick for today. This was a draft pick for today, and now you can project out his future. This is a 26, 27 type of draft pick and a guy that's going to be here for a while and eventually, I don't want to say replace Chris Jones, but everybody gets replaced in sports. It works that way. And so maybe he can be that next guy that becomes that all-world defensive tackle like we've had in Chris Jones. But right now, he's a great piece to have, a great addition to have, and you get that depth to be even more along that defensive line. And it is like the running back position. As much as you can rotate guys out and keep them fresh is great. I'd love Chris Jones to play 50% of the snaps.
Yeah.
I think that'd be perfect.
We'll get into what the grades were of the Chiefs. Binkley gave his, Mel Kiper's given his. We'll see if we agree or disagree with the two draft experts, Drafula and the Binkster. Plus, we dive into one word as well on the other side here. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Hey, it's Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend Dawn Sharp is doing an amazing job when it comes to moving real estate here in Kansas City and the surrounding area. Want to know what your property is really worth for free in less than just 30 seconds? Well, the Sharp Homes team with Epic Realty has the answer. Just visit homesforsaleandkc.com. Click on What's My Home Worth? The answer may just surprise you. You might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. Remember, at homesforsaleandkc.com, your next big payday may be a click away. And when you go there, you can get options. The Sharp Homes team can give you so many different options. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, do it. Contact them to discuss their instant offer program. In fact, contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. You can check them out at homesforsaleandkc.com or Google them at Sharp Homes Team, and you'll see from over 200 5-star Google and Zillow reviews. That's Sharp Homes Team. But better yet, visit them, homesforsaleandkc.com. That's homesforsaleandkc.com, and start packing.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Rawhide Harley's dedicated team of finance experts are ready to get you approved. Credit so bad your mama won't lend you money?
I love you, dear, but hell to the no.
Then let the Credit Rebuilders of Kansas get you approved at Rawhide Harley. 100% of all credit applications considered. See rawhideharley.com.
On approved credit.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
I'm at a smoothie bar, asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hey there, Royals fans. It's Royals Hall of Famer Mike Sweeney. Have you or your kids experienced a high school coach who wants to make our Kansas City community a better place to live, work, and play? The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation, together with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, are shining a spotlight on 6 impactful coaches in the KC metro area. Nominate a high school coach today at royals.com/coaches with character.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, 71 northbound slow rolling before 75th Street. Stay slow up to Gregory Lee Summit. US 50 westbound sluggish from 3rd Street up to 470. On the Kansas side, 35 both directions moving well between Olathe and downtown. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Figured you're okay. Let the music play for a little bit. I was updating my Jack Caglione stat board. He's doing just fine. Cody and Gold and myself and Drew will be in Springfield Saturday to watch Cags play. The Northwest Arkansas Royals will be playing against the some sort of AA affiliate out of St. Louis. Boo, gross. Nobody likes St. Louis. Except their pizza's okay. And toasted ravioli. But no, Caglione, 282, 360, 494, 854. 4 home runs, 22 RBIs, 24 strikeouts. Let me cool that down a little bit, Jack. But no, So draft grades. Mel Kiper gave the Chiefs a B+. Jay Binkley gave the Chiefs a B+. I'm a terrible teacher, and I just give them a B. I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about the players they drafted. I know I draft on where they adjusted to the roster of need. You need somebody to be in the interior lineman. They did it. You'd like to have some sort of presence on the outside. Binkley said he's an inside-outside guy in Gelati, right? He can play interior, exterior, whatever you want to do there.
3-tech outside, yep.
So maybe that says something to Felix and Dike Uzama. Hey, in-house competition, baby. Love that.
I think that's a good question.
Love that. And then, you draft a receiver that fits the scheme of what Andy Reid likes to do. Maybe we have this little, present later on in the 5th round. We're like, oh, yeah, that's that guy that ran that 4.4 out of Utah State that everybody passed on, and somehow the Chiefs got it. And we get that meme again of they can't keep getting away with it. And then you got your running back in the 7th round, which, okay, I was wrong. I think a lot of people were wrong. I thought they were going to draft a running back in the 3rd round. It showed you what they thought about the depth class of this running back class, and they got a shifty, smaller, fast returner type guy in the 7th round out of SMU. But again, I look at what they needed in the draft. I look at how they addressed it and what people have said about the players they drafted. I give them a B. I think that's a fair grade. I don't think it's like an A+. It's not like 2022's draft where it was like you got 4 starters essentially in that draft, but maybe you have 2 in this draft, and I would give them a B, especially seeing that Kiper and Binkley also give him a B+.
Well, Kiper giving a B+ to the Kansas City Chiefs is basically blasphemy because he gave out 1 A+ in the draft and he gave it to the Cleveland Browns. And so Mel Kiper's draft grades for me are...
That's real? He gave it to the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
He gave out 1 A+. So
Lean into it, Mel.
Yeah, right? So can you really trust how Mel Kiper views drafts and gives grades? I can't. And again, you can't really grade a draft until you're at least 3 years out from where you were. We can look at this and go, oh, these are great picks, or we don't know anything. I mean, they may pick a guy in the 7th round who turns out to be Isaiah Pacheco, and when you're looking at the draft the day after, you're not giving them an A for taking Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round of that draft last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was. Rashard Smith being that 7th round running back right now, I think people are excited about that, but we don't know what the level of production is going to be for him. So passing out these grades are kind of weak, in my opinion, because we just don't know. And then Mel Kiper giving an A+ to Cleveland is just, that is just...
Well, they got a first-round talent in the 5th round.
That's ripe to me doing that. But I like the positions that they went after. They went after an offensive tackle. We all thought they needed an offensive tackle. I like that pick. I like the defensive tackle pick. I like the wide receiver and Jalen Royals pick. And I like the Brashard Smith pick at running back. Give Patrick Mahomes a few more weapons. We talked about it last week. They want to start going bombs away again, right? How do you do that? Speed, quickness, fast, over the top. Both of those players allow that type of game to be fostered by Mahomes in this offense. So I like those picks a lot, for the Kansas City Chiefs. So just judging based on needs and Brett Veach, A+, better than Howie Roseman.
Yeah, because somebody asked me on the text line, how would you, what would give him an A? I think if Josh Simmons was, not hurt, or maybe he does play, right out of, the chute, ready to go. They say
he could contribute a little bit,
right,
yeah.
Then I would bump it up to maybe an A-.
Yeah, that's what Binkley said. If he ends up being your starter or plays significant minutes for you, then you can move that grade up, obviously. And that's why giving a grade the day after the draft is such a fallacy, because you just don't know. Josh Simmons could turn out to be that left tackle that we've been looking for since Willie Roaf, or even since Eric Fisher was here as our left tackle. If he turns out to be Eric Fisher, drafts an A.
Why does everybody forget that we had Orlando Brown Jr.?
Because he really wasn't our guy. He was traded over. He was only here for 2 years.
He was good.
He was good, but
A lot of people missed him when he was gone.
Yeah, that he's the ultimate miss you when you're gone type of guy.
Yeah.
But when he was here, you always felt you could do better. It's like you're dating a 7, but you think you can get a 10, and you're never going to get that 10. So be happy with the 7. And I'm talking about us as fans. We never embraced Orlando Brown Jr. as a fan base here in Kansas City. And I don't know really why. I don't know what, I guess maybe him talking about Easy Money University, or I don't know what it was, but it's we never really as a fan base embraced Orlando Brown Jr. We spent so much time trying to find out what was wrong instead of embracing that. He was a pretty damn good offensive tackle.
I think his contract clouded his reputation.
Yeah, and I think
money.
His despondent of I'm a left tackle in this league, I refuse to play right tackle, I think probably rubs some folks the wrong way. Where's he now?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
And going there for less money apparently didn't really last well, and that didn't really give the Chiefs fans a nice taste in their mouth. But I remember when they got him, I was like, all right, here we go.
It's great. Yeah.
I was like, left tackle, Mahomes is good. We're going to be just fine. And then it was like a year later, it was like, well, he's going to want some money. He wants to be paid. He wants to be the highest paid left tackle. I was like, does he? Or is that what everyone's saying?
Yeah, I think that was the perception, was that this guy wanted to be paid a lot more than we believed he was worth as a fan base. And that happens, right? Some guys are going to gel, some guys aren't. And it felt like, I think when you look back on it, he was more about the money and living the lifestyle of being a football player. As Binkley talked about, do you like being a football player? Or do you like the lifestyle that comes from being a football player? I feel like, and again, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like we felt that he just kind of was here for the money and the money grab, and it was never about buying into the system. I don't know what it was, but you're right. Like, nobody really liked Orlando Brown Jr. here in Kansas City.
Till he was gone. Reese Davis had enough of Dracula.
The key, Mel, it's not putting a value judgment on whether those who passed right or wrong. They did. Yep. So now, whenever you're in circumstances in life, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, whether they're fair or whether they're unfair, you might have to deal with it. That's right. Now Shadeur Sanders has to deal with it. And for whatever reason, whether he played a minute, microscopic percentage, 0%, or it's a legitimate criticism of the way he conducted himself during the draft process, this was the result. Yeah. Now he has an opportunity to answer it. I think yelling at the NFL about it is not right.
There's not a quarterback. Boomer Esiason was not happy when he was the second round pick. Tom Brady was not happy. They dropped. How'd they turn out?
And nobody's arguing that. That can happen.
The NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks. Clueless. No idea what they're doing in terms of evaluating quarterback. That's proof. There's proof of that.
How many times
we know exactly what we're talking about with quarterbacks? They don't.
He also had Mitch Trubisky, Deshaun Kaiser, Deshaun Watson, and Luke Falk rated ahead of Patrick Mahomes in the 2017 draft. So when he sits there, like Luke Falk, I don't know who that is. I honest to God,
Marshall's brother.
Do you remember a Luke Falk? I remember somebody named Luke Fickle, but I don't remember a Luke Falk. I do remember a Marshall Falk, Marshall's brother. Yes. But I don't know who. So if he's going to sit there, as he did at the end, and said the NFL has been evaluating quarterbacks wrong, but we've been evaluating them right. In what world has Mel Kiper been evaluating the quarterbacks the right way? I'm as hard on the NFL as Kiper is with the development of quarterbacks, because I do think a lot of them are left hung out to dry because they have bad situations that they get drafted into. But there's also did you, as the quarterback, do as much as you possibly could have to achieve success in the NFL? It's all on Shadeur Sanders now, guys. I mean, this is not a situation that, in my opinion anyway, is now on, the Cleveland Browns to develop this guy. You're a fifth-round draft pick. Go out there and play. There's no pressure on Shadeur Sanders at all. And who's to say he is a first-round drafted talent? I mean, who's to say that the Smith kid that we drafted in the 7th round isn't better than that? That kid may be more productive this year than Shadeur Sanders for the Cleveland Browns. The Smith kid here in Kansas City at running back from SMU. He may be more of a household name at the end of the year than Shadeur Sanders is right now. And if Shadeur Sanders didn't play the game the right way, didn't interview the right way, listening to music during interviews with coaches like it's being reported out there, he's not an NFL quarterback. He's just not.
Let's see your talent.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Mel Kiper got caught in a sticky situation, and he was hell-bent on it, and he wasn't going to let it go, because Reese Davis, as the internet said, bodied Mel Kiper in that whole thing, because Mel's only rebuttal was Boomer Esiason and Tom Brady, they didn't come out of college as arrogant a-holes. I'm sorry,
you're right.
Shadeur Sanders came out of college and flexed the watch, was
that chain that he was wearing on Thursday night tells you kind of everything you need to know about his headspace and where he is. And then you hear the stories. It all adds up as a guy that I don't want that guy as my quarterback. He's not mature enough to be a quarterback.
Yeah, he cares about his sponsorships and endorsements. This goes back to that video of him and Cam Ward working out. He's talking about Gatorade and all this stuff. Cam Ward's like, dude, I play football.
That was a great video. If you're wondering why Deion Sanders fell to the 5th round, that minute video of him and Cam Ward talking should tell you everything that you need to know. Shadeur is more concerned with the endorsements. He's more concerned with the NIL. He's more concerned with everything else around football. And Cam Ward's like, I'm just a football player. And as a coach, You want a guy that's just a football player. That's what you want. You don't want a guy that has not played 1 minute of football in the NFL already caught up in endorsements and all of the other stuff that Shadeur Sanders seemingly was caught up in before the NFL draft. And that's why he fell. Guys aren't going to bring quarterbacks into their locker room that believe they're bigger than everybody else, and then you didn't do the homework like, the reports are coming out with the Giants, didn't do the homework that was asked of him. That's why you fall. It's no secret.
The NFL's getting around for 50 years. Look at Tom Brady. How'd he turn out? So you take the one outlier?
Right, yeah, literally.
You take the greatest quarterback of all time, who's the one outlier who goes in the 6th round and gets fat shamed for his photo the rest of his life, and you're going to say they got...
And it literally was one guy.
Name one guy that was like, you know what, Tom Brady, underdrafted. Can't believe they didn't take him out of Michigan higher. Also, Tom Brady wasn't coming out of Michigan being like, I'm him. I'm that guy.
No, Tom Brady came out like Patrick Mahomes didn't come out that way. Josh Allen didn't come out that way. Joe Burrow, I don't think, came out of college that way. Like, you look at all these great quarterbacks right now.
That's the thing, too, is like Burrow didn't have to. Like, Burrow won a national title. Like, people gave Burrow a bunch of you-know-what for smoking a cigar at the end of the national championship game. And then all those people were quieted very quickly when they said, what else does he need to prove after that game? He won a national title. He's a quarterback. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's going number 1 in the draft. And they were like, yeah, I'd probably smoke a cigar, too. It's
right,
like,
why wouldn't you?
Would,
Who cares? Like that's the stuff people get so worked up over. But Shadeur Sanders fell because Shadeur Sanders isn't ready to be an NFL quarterback. Talent-wise, he may be ready. Full body of work, clearly not.
I'm also on the boat about and look, everyone knows this. It's listened to After Hours and myself and ran about it and see the videos of me wearing a Prime hoodie. I love Deion Sanders. I think he is just a great person for the college football. Like Bob has said, he's the reason why he's back into it. Made drama.
Yeah, it was drama. It was fun.
I think he's also a big problem when it came to Shadeur Sanders' draft stock. I think there's a lot of people that are like, we have to bring this too. And again, I'm not saying that is or that isn't Shadeur Sanders' fault, but like that's the house you guys have built. Since the day you went to Jackson State, we knew that you guys were going to be this team going forward. And Travis Hunter got drafted, goes to Jacksonville. He's not Deion's kid. He will always be an adopted son to Deion, but he's not part of that. So don't have to worry about this with Travis Hunter. He's in Jacksonville. No, nothing's going to bother him. You have to believe, even if Deion tells you 1,000 times to your face, I am not in my child's life. He's in the NFL now. You know that he's going to be there.
Okay.
And, like, that's kind of a nuisance to, I think, his draft stock where it's like, well, we don't want to deal with Deion. Like, why would I want Deion coming to my building or coming to my facility being like, not only are you going to let me in because I'm Deion, but you're going to let me because I'm going to see my son. And it's like, which card are you going to play?
Well, but that's you're right. That is a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Shadeur Sanders could have worked on every other part and said, yeah, my dad may be around, but at least I'm prepared for this interview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not listening to music.
No, that's the main part.
Like, Shadeur Sanders didn't control what he could have controlled going into these pre-draft interviews, obviously.
And he could have nipped all that in the bud, too. He could have been like, my dad's not part of my life anymore. He is my college coach. He is my father, but he is not anywhere near me in the NFL. That was never said.
Yeah, it was never said. He could have said all that kind of stuff, but he didn't take care of the stuff that he needed to take care of. Like, you can't control what your father does. I can't control what my kids do. You can't control what your fiance does, your husband, your wife, the whole 9 yards, right? But you can control how you behave and how you act and how you go about your life. And when you come in listening to music during a job interview in any industry, you ain't getting that job. I don't care what the job is. If you don't come in and you're not focused enough to pay attention during this interview and take your earbuds out, I don't give a rip what generation you're in. You're in there for a job interview. You better be paid attention. You better be dialed in. Shadeur Sanders cost himself. Had nothing to do with Deion. You go in and you are a great guy in these interviews. You do what these teams ask you to do. At the quarterback position, you get drafted. Doesn't matter who your dad is. But he didn't do the right things during these job interviews as it's coming out. Nobody else's fault but his.
All right, Mac. One word.
One word.
First name is blank, and he goes on a cruise. He goes on a Caribbean cruise.
Katie Holmes.
No.
Are you listening?
What's your least favorite thing about working with yourself?
Body odor. You get one word.
On the count of 3, name your favorite dinosaur. 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
This is one word on Fescoe and Dusty.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I don't get this text. Somebody says, you think the Mannings aren't involved with that Manning kid in Texas? Not their son. A lot of people forget that's not Eli or Peyton's kid.
Yeah,
It's Archie's kid. Cooper's.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's involved with. I don't think they're involved at all.
And I also don't. They're involved. 100% they're involved.
Not game day.
No. Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if Arch Manning shows up to a job interview, he takes it seriously.
Right, yeah.
Or anybody else in that. You get an opportunity to interview with an NFL team, you better take that serious.
No doubt. All right. One word.
Yeah, and with them, it's like a team. Like, all of them are together. Like, hey, how do we do this for you, Arch? How do we come together? And with Deion and Shadeur, it just seems like some big show. I don't know. One word on Shadeur, getting prank called. I don't know if we've really covered this today as much, but Jeff Ulbrich, former head coach, interim head coach, I should say, of the New York Jets, now defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. His son, it has now come out, somehow got the numbers to Shadeur Sanders, Tyler Warren, and some other draftees. Prank called them saying, hey, this is so-and-so of the Jets, drafting you. One word on Shadeur getting prank called. Or the Saints, yeah.
It's more than one word, but, as a generation of the Jerky Boys and Howard Stern and R.D. Mercer down in Tulsa, I think it's hysterical. Now, that's surface layer. We can get into the other stuff as the morning rolls along. Should he have done it? No. Does he need all of this trouble that he's in and people wanting to fire the father over this? No.
I think it's classless. I mean, I don't know. It's like draft day. I don't mind if it's the week before the draft, it's like, hey, this is a special agent,
Yeah.
Hugh, whatever.
Hugh Jackman?
Yeah. Hey, this is, Mike Roch calling from Atlanta. I want to know about your 40 time. Oh, okay. Draft day? Come on, man. They did it to other players before. I guess it happened to Cooper DeJean as well.
Oh, did it? I didn't hear that one. Oh, did it?
Text line let us know that earlier.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Ty Warren, I think it happened to as well. Shadeur Sanders. I don't know, man.
I just think about where I was in college and some of the dumb crap we did,
with
man.
all the scam artists you have now, you just, all right, whatever. I mean, I think it's I think the kids should go to jail for doing it. I think it should be I think it is a little. I think people are a little hyperbolic about it.
Little righteous here on this one.
And maybe not firing the coach in Atlanta, but dude, your son really, really kind of effed you, man.
Yeah. The father needs to handle the son.
I mean, and not only that, but how he handles the son is how they're going to handle him when he goes to the facility today in Atlanta. And they're like, all right, dude, we're going to talk about the draft. Before we do that, we got any other issues? We got any other privacy issues? You got any other thing? Lock it up.
Oh, they're going to get the company-wide email of making sure you have two-factor authenticity 100%. For logging in. They're going to get this one-touch login on their phones and all this kind of stuff, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. You're here now. Obviously, we need to change our security parameters. But as a dad, if my kid did something like that,
wasn't there a
take
show?
out the strap, baby.
Yep. Wasn't there a show called Crank Yankers? That's not right.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Prank Yankers. Prank. It's definitely not Crank Yankers.
I think it was.
Is it really? That can't be a show for children.
It wasn't a show for children. It was on MTV or
and they were puppets, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I love prank calls. I think they're hysterical. We did them all the time in college.
Yankers.
Is that what it's called?
That's a thing.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
I knew it, dude.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Crank
it
calls.
has a different meaning.
Yeah, dude.
What are you going to do? Watch Crank Yankers? Oh, I think we should see other people.
Skinamax?
Is that where you guys met? We're not talking about it.
Yeah, we're not talking about it. What do you mean you're not talking about it? You're 24, he's 74. We'd like to know. Yeah, we're not discussing that. And who are you again?
Yeah.
We're interviewing Bill. But no, I've always loved prank calls. I think they're hysterical. I listen to Roy D. Mercer on constant on Apple Music. I love it. It's so good. They're the best ever. I guess I just don't have a problem that he did that. I'd handle it behind closed doors if I'm the father. Publicly facing, it's not the worst thing a college kid has ever done. It's not even that bad.
Yankers.
Yeah, Crank Yankers is rough.
One word, Crank Yankers, Mac.
Awesome.
Bad.
So good.
What else we got?
Post work. One word on the Browns quarterback room.
Packed.
If you didn't know, they drafted Dylan Gabriel and Shadeur Sanders. They still have Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco.
It's packed. It's not good. It's packed. There's a lot of people in there. Yeah.
Like a dog pack? Was that really was that a bone they showed dropping on that guy's head? Did you see that video of Cleveland Brown when the guy got drafted? It looked like it's something else.
Oh, no, I didn't see
I'll
that.
just send the video to you guys. An enigma? I don't know what it is. I don't know if Deshaun's there come June 1st. I don't know if Gabriel's on the practice squad. Who's the backup? Who's
the starter?
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, and I would say Kenny Pickett's the second.
So we have a quarterback battle for third and practice squad, and then somebody's getting released. I think Deshaun's getting released. I'm 100% for sure belief that Deshaun's getting released from Cleveland.
Has to.
I mean, Shadeur's the third best quarterback on that roster. Might be the second.
Yeah, I don't know. Kenny Pickett?
Or Shadeur Sanders?
Why does he get a spot?
Kenny Pickett?
Yeah. I mean, why is he grandfathered
Well, when
in?
you back up Duck Hodges in your career, you got to earn it somewhere else down the line, right?
I saw some graphic that said Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco were going to show Shadeur Sanders the way to win in the NFL, and I'm like, what has Kenny Pickett ever done?
Mac, I bet if you listen to Roy D. Mercer, you'd turn off in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a shot.
You'd love it. It's awesome. The cemetery one. He pranks this guy at the cemetery. Cemetery Jack speaking, and he gets this guy riled up into a ball of ready to kill this man because he's like, you peed on my grave. My dead uncle's grave. I saw you peeing out there. This guy loses his mind.
This is Roy D. Mercer.
Oh, it's so good.
How big a boy are you?
Yeah, why don't you pack a lunch, come down there and kick your ass?
God.
Call the grocery store, said he had diarrhea from their bad apples. Grocery store people are losing. I mean, just the way people react, it's hysterical.
Coming up on the other side is the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtz, as we get draft grades and maybe some things you didn't know about the new wave of the Chiefs. We'll do that here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my grass looks great, and it's because of my friends over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. I've never had a lawn look this good in my entire life, and we've tried and tried and tried, and finally I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. We've got too many weeds. We've got trees that are dead. They're sucking all the water out of the ground. What am I going to do? Well, Aspen Lawn and Pest Control came over and took care of my yard, and it looks amazing. There isn't one dandelion to be seen. The grass is green. It's been cut beautifully, and these guys just continue to make it better and better and better, and that's why I trust the college-educated professionals at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. They provide award-winning service and have been doing it since 1985. They offer full-service lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. And I'm excited about the pest control. The mosquito dome is going to go up over the yard, and we're going to keep ourselves safe from all the mosquitoes, the ticks, the fleas, all of those outside bugs that nobody wants to deal with. Aspen Lawn and Pest Control is going to make them go away. Right now, if you mention this ad, you'll get up to half off your first application. So don't wait. Call them today, or better yet, just visit them at aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It is one of my favorite times of the year, and you don't want to miss it with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. FanDuel is the best place to find all your favorite player props, and you can make an heads-up play with player performance trends. So that means if you want to bet on a player to score 30 or put on a triple-double, you don't even need to leave the app to find out who's hot. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win even big. The NBA playoffs are the perfect time to join, and you can get started with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So use my promo code KFNZ. Go on FanDuel and get started for the NBA playoffs and make every moment more this spring on FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and President, Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement. Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit KansasGamblingHelp.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875% fixed. While other lenders are talking about high interest rates, we're dropping rates. And we can get it done for you in as little as 14 days. Golden Oak Lending has just secured several $1 million that we can offer you as fixed-rate mortgages for 4.875%. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. It's fast and easy. Our debt consolidation customers save an average of $1,104 every month. And at Golden Oak, you never pay for your appraisal up front. Lock in this incredible 4.875% rate now before it's too late and say goodbye to those high-interest credit card rates. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound slow approaching Vivian. Earlier stalled past Vivian, now off to the right shoulder. 169 highway southbound slows by the airport, pretty heavy down to the bridge, then sluggish on 235 southbound and downtown towards 670. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
He's been the voice of Chiefs Kingdom since 1994.
Damian Williams, 20, stays in bounds, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Kansas City, Damian Williams runs to immortality.
Here's Mitch Holtz on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, here we go. Diving right back into it on 96.5 The Fan with the voice of the Chiefs. The draft has happened. It is concluded. It is over. So now we get grades. We get all the backstories and all the information that only one man can know, and that one man is Mitch Holtz. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm excited. We're up. There we are.
I don't know if the mic's on or not.
Is this a crank anchor segment?
Why don't we do this every time we have somebody in studio? We can never figure out these microphones.
Mitch, move to your right. Move to your right. Move that mic to your right would be fantastic. Yes, there you go. That one.
Let's do this one. Okay. So of these 7 microphones here.
Oh, there it is.
I see. It's the trick's on me. Don't take
You've
microphones.
been pranked like Shadeur.
Don't take microphone 3, take microphone 6.5. Yeah, I'm excited about the new movie Anger Management 2's coming out. Yeah, it's awesome because it's going to be Mel Kiper and Dan Orlovsky.
I said over easy.
Instead of
Jack
Nicholson and Adam Sandler.
Have you ever seen somebody go to bat for a player like Mel Kiper did with Shadeur Sanders over this weekend? Like, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life.
No, I don't know why. And yeah, I don't know. God, I hate to say it, but it felt like Clint Eastwood on the porch.
Yeah,
didn't it?
it really did.
What are we doing? That for 50 years they've missed quarterback? I don't know. I got a feeling like, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, maybe Jaden Daniels. Like, I don't think these teams are missing as much as maybe he thinks.
Well, I went through Kiper's list of 2017 quarterbacks where he had these guys ranked. Mitch Trubisky 1, Deshaun Kaiser 2, Deshaun Watson 3, somebody named Luke Falk 4, and Patrick Mahomes came in 5. So if Kiper wants to talk about the NFL missing on quarterbacks, he needs to keep the receipts. Everybody misses on guys in these drafts, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I just...
Kaiser's part of that quarterback name on the back of the Browns jerseys, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Well, they're looking for a guy today. I think they're out driving around to sign 3 more undrafted free agents. But no, I'm excited about this draft, especially Saturday.
Why?
I just went berserk on Saturday. I thought Saturday, and I put it out on social, but it reminded me of 2022. And we talked about those guys in forever. We'll talk about them, that great class of 8, 9 guys that led to 2 Super Bowl titles. And I'm not saying this class will do it, but I'm not saying they won't, because these are guys that can have immediate impact. The 3 Saturday guys, we can talk about the other 4 guys too, but the 3 Saturday guys, to me, were spectacular picks. It's a Veach homer again.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jalen Royals, obviously, and Brashard Smith because they're the offensive guys. I haven't talked much to anybody about Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker from Oregon. You kind of like him. Tell me why. Like, he kind of fell through the cracks for me, if you will.
A little bit because he's the tweener guy, right? There's your cliche, but man, he's an athlete. He was a 4-year special teams guy with the Ducks, even though he was a starter. Still stayed on teams. You look at his production, it's there. Kind of a cover, he can cover, hybrid guy. But at the Senior Bowl, he ran the huddle for the national team. So he became even a Nick Bolton guy. So there's one of your kind of stories behind. He started as a safety, didn't play football till 9th grade. He's helped his sister fight through cancer. So you've got that kind of Pacheco-ish kind of story. But I just think he's a splendid athlete. I think that he can be a sub-down guy. I'm not saying he's Willie Gay Jr., but he's closer to Willie Gay Jr. than some of the other guys we've had since Willie Gay Jr. So I think Bass is a really good pickup.
Do you think he's like, we always talk about drafting for the future with this team? Is this Nick Bolton doesn't have a long-term deal here? Maybe he's the guy that takes over for Nick Bolton in the future, or is that too much reading into it?
I think because of his size and depending how he goes in his development in the NFL, not his strength development, I see him more as a Will-type backer. He's kind of that open side backer that Willie Gay Jr. was. And Leo Chenal's done an awesome job. But you look at, how long will Drew Tranquill play? This is a guy that maybe eventually morphs into Drew's role over time, although Drew's got good years left, obviously. So I just think that Bessa starts as a special teams, Dave Tobe guy, but then also subs in and can make plays. I mean, he's a dynamic player.
You look at the kid they got from Tennessee that's going to be the middle line.
Norman Lott.
Yeah, you were big on interior defensive linemen. You wanted to see them go after that. Maybe not huge on it, but like somebody that could go in there and be part of that. What do you like the rotational piece, right? And Binkley joined us earlier and said that he was like that at Tennessee. Now you've got Omenihu, Jones, Felix, George, this kid as well. You've added strength where you really needed it.
One of the reasons the Chiefs have been so good defensively, I'll say 2 reasons. When you look at them and study them, Dusty, on video, is 1, they don't get gashed in the run game, with a few exceptions. 2, they're so good at defending tunnel or bubble screens, those 3-on-3 plays to the outside, because they're just effort and understanding about it. And I'll be honest with you, I told you guys I was excited about Friday and Saturday when I was on with you guys Friday morning. And I'll just be honest with you, I was looking for a starting inside tech to go with Chris right away, day one. Truthfully, I don't think Norman Lott is that guy, but I think he's a possibly a better version with a high ceiling of Turk Wharton. He's a one-gap penetrator guy, high motor. He was a good player at Arizona State. Here's what I like about him. It's always the stories behind. He was a boxer, and you see it because his ability, his quickness, his like one-gap snap quickness is really good. Now, he also had some penalties, and he's got a little temper maybe. He got suspended in the Florida-Tennessee game when they had that brawl. But even at Arizona State, when he started there, I know Bink talked to you about pass rush rate. He hasn't played a lot of snaps, like 20 snaps. But the other reason, a third reason the Chiefs have been so good defensively is they've had literally 8 defensive linemen that they can rotate, mix and match. It's rare at football at any level to have that. Even the best FBS teams don't have that. And so when you have that kind of lineup, Tillery comes into play here, Mike Pennell, we know what he's been able to do. So you've got a 4-man rotation with those 2 and then Chris and this guy, and you still have your outside guys. That over time, long season, you rotate, but they can play inside and outside. You can kind of do tricks with them. But they've got enough athletic ability that every one of them can rush the passer. That's what Norman Lott does.
Mitch, you mentioned the boxing side of things, and that kind of set off a little bit of an alarm. I was having a conversation with a former lineman a couple of weeks ago in the NFL. He's like, the only reason I was successful, because I'm smaller, he goes, the only reason I was successful was because I did martial arts as a kid, and I learned balance and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's interesting, because you always hear about play one sport. That's what you got to do. And I'm like, no, that's the wrong way to go about it. Play other sports and martial arts. And he credited martial arts for being a reason why he was able to have a long career. And now this kid with boxing. So my wheels start spinning a little bit. I'm like, it's all these other ancillary. I kind of like that angle on him.
Well, let's take Gelati. His brother's an MMA fighter. You think those two guys get together and do exactly that?
Yeah. Right.
So, and with Gelati, his A grade is his hands. So it goes back to MMA. It said violent hands, his pad level, speed to power. But to me, that's some MMA training, and you can see the boxing training with Norman Lott.
Mitch, you want to stick around for one more?
Let's go. No, I don't have to get at it. We can go for a while now.
Oh.
But I will say this before we go to break. You know how hard Matt McMullen works, right?
Yeah.
You guys he's on with you guys.
Yes.
He was exhausted at the end of the draft. His wife said, I'm going to take you out. What a great, she's an awesome.
She's awesome.
Works at the zoo. They even got a mariachi band. She got a mariachi band for Matt to celebrate the end of the draft at dinner. How good is that?
Are you kidding me?
Wife of the year, man. Wife of the year.
Here is your chimichanga, and before you dive in, all right, Mitch Holtz will continue draft talk on the other side. Here on 92 for the Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Hey, it's Matt Quattrero, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, my friends over at Underdog are ready for you in the state of Missouri, because Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their Extender promo. With the Extender, you can play your way into increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts. And Underdog is now available to play in Missouri. All you have to do to play is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like points, assists, and so much more. Or if you're like me, you can combine entries from all sports and make entries from basketball and baseball into one entry as well. And once that entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. So if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code Bob right now to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code Bob. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
It's the spring sales event at Rob Sight Ford, and I'm here with the man himself, Rob Sight. Rob, you already stole the spotlight. Now what are you trying to take?
Just your attention, Kevin, and maybe a few trade-ins. Now, we've got up to $14,000 off new Fords with employee pricing, plus our own dealer discount.
$14,000. That's hotter than your Sunday barbecue.
Exactly. And unlike your burgers, these deals won't dry out. We've got hard-to-find inventory, huge trade-in values, and our non-commissioned sales team makes everything so easy.
No pressure, just real help. Even I'll admit it, it's the best place in Kansas City to buy a car, and I don't hand out compliments lightly, or seconds.
That's a fact. And don't forget, we're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and 0 grill marks.
All right, Rob, I'll give it to you, man. You're cooking up some real value over there.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit robsight.com. But hurry, these deals are sizzling and inventory is moving fast.
And tell him Rob sent you. No guarantees, but he might throw in a hot dog.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
For over 8 years, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free. Shoulder and hip pain, gone. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in their achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life. The best part, with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. It's an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. Imagine doing all the things you enjoy this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or your back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
Brought to you by MVP. Only $39 for an AC tune-up. Book now at themvpkc.com. MVP Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electric is your home's MVP this spring and summer. Get a summer AC tune-up for just $39 and avoid costly repairs. 913-214-1212 or visit themvpkc.com. MVP. One call does it all.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Midwest Auto Services, Kansas side, 635 southbound, heavy from Metropolitan down towards Shawnee Drive with an accident blocking the right lane. Is driving your vehicle like fighting a wild bull? Does it lead, pull, or feel out of sync when you accelerate or brake? Are you replacing tires a lot due to poor wear? Let Midwest Auto Services check your alignment. Call 816-224-4247 or MidwestAutoservices.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all the shows from your phone, desktop, or tablet. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Back into it here on a Monday. It might be gloomy, but let the voice of the Chiefs bring sunshine to your ears as Mitch Holtz hangs around for another segment here with Fescoe, Dusty, and Mac on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Chiefs football. Mitch, other names in the draft, obviously they were given a B+ by the draft expert in Mel Kiper. Grades to me are always interesting. I don't really know what to give them. I say a B. We'll see if Simmons is going to be, earlier than later. I think that's Bob makes a good point. You judge the draft maybe a year later on the grade. You can't really, first day of school, all right, I'm going to give you an A because you wore a nice outfit. That's not really how it goes. This draft was maybe some positions of need, maybe some positions of importance. But you said Friday, Saturday was the day.
Friday, Saturday, especially Saturday. Let's jump into Saturday. To get Jalen Royals, to me, is a home run big time. I mean, and here's what I like. There's a lot of stuff I like about him, but I like my linemen to be wrestlers, right? Think Reed Humphrey, because they live the life of what you watch in collegiate or high school wrestling, and footwork, leverage, understanding. I want my quarterbacks and wide receivers to be point guards. The reason Jalen Royals was really under-recruited was he was an AAU point guard guy. So he's going on the summertime. He's not hitting the camp circuit, trying out for all these so-called combines. He's playing AAU basketball. So he goes under the radar, decides, I'm going to play football. Nobody's recruiting him. He goes to Georgia Military Junior College.
Oh, GMI.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's the best ever. And so you can imagine he's in formation his freshman year, and I don't mean, the single back formation. And so that's part of it. But then he goes to Utah State on a whim and blows it up. You look at his 23 year, that's the year he had the 71 catches and almost 1,100 yards. The only FBS wide receiver with 70-plus catches, 15 touchdowns, 75 first downs. He's a young Juju Smith-Schuster. If you watch his video. Now, here's why I love him. Not only because he's a point guard, but two, he's a door hinge. He's a potential door hinge. In 2013, in being around Andy Reid and his offense early on, I saw how important the door hinge receiver is. So think the first guy I saw was Jason Avant. Remember we got him kind of at the end of his career?
Tail end of his career, yeah.
Okay. And Coach he doesn't divulge like all his stuff. When he retires, it's going to be awesome because it'll be like he'll have these seminars.
You think he will, or do you think he
no,
just
he won't
goes?
retire.
No,
He just goes. No, I shouldn't say retire. Why did I even say that? But when he goes, he'll leave behind because he uses geometric attacks, but he needs a door hinge. And sometimes that is the guy that has the ability and the art form of setting legal pick routes. It's an art form. And this kid looks like he can be the guy to do it. Two, though, is where they anchor and how they run their route in setting up other guys to get open, not that aren't pick routes, or being able to block downfield on runs or the bubble tunnel screen. Juju Smith-Schuster, he changed into that as a wide receiver. He's been awesome at it. And when we got him back last year, it was a bigger deal than people think because you need the door hinge guy. And I've even heard some Deebo Samuel comps with
I did too.
With Jalen Royals. But I love the fact that I think he's got the demeanor. He stayed at Utah State. He blows it up. So some power fours start coming in and go, hey, we'll give you a little bit of money. And he's like, well, I'm going to stay here. These guys recruited me. I was nobody. I'll stay here. I'll make my money on the other side. So I'm like, okay, refreshing dude there. So I'm all about Royals. Yes, put him on 85. You'll hear Royals 85 references from me, little subtle references. I saw, Ryan Lefevre yesterday and Denny. And so we were yucking it up about that, but it's too fun to have him at 15's taken, but 85, Royals 85 would be way too much fun.
I mean, it's perfect for a wide receiver, too. I mean, it's the perfect number. It's the perfect year. Everything. Like, he has to be 85.
Got to be 85.
And imagine the marketing that the Chiefs could do. How many people would buy a Royals 85 jersey knowing it represents multiple things? Like, even if the kid doesn't make it, you can say, well, it's Royals from the 85 World Series. I'm celebrating on my Chiefs jersey,
You guys know this. Not everybody in town who's a Royals fan is a Chiefs fan.
Right.
And not everybody who's a Chiefs fan is a Royals fan. If you put it Royals 85, you kind of bridge that gap like, okay, I guess I like that guy for the Chiefs.
Right.
Or Chiefs fans going, what happened in 85 with the Royals? But I love the pick. There's a lot of reasons to love it, and I can't wait. He's also done special teams. So he had did kickoff returns before he got hurt for Utah State. We didn't even get into Williams. I like him. He looks like a potential Reed replacement, a Justin Reed replacement, because he's smart, tough, willing tackler, ball hawk. If you look at 14 career interceptions between there, Cal and when he was at UNLV, 4 scoop and scores, 4, plus a pick 6 and an 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So you got ball hawk, willing tackler, kind of a thicker corner, but I can see him be the hybrid guy. And then Smith. So we have a guy that does graphic arts, works in the graphic arts department. You see a lot of his work in social. Jordan Giesler. He's kind of quasi-draft geek, but he's down the hall, right? So Matt when he's not listening to mariachi bands, is working on the draft, and we'll be working on stuff. And then Giesler will walk in. So 2 years ago, he comes in, he goes, I got my guy.
How many years ago?
Last year.
Okay.
So 24 draft. He comes in, he goes, Carson Steele. So we start looking at him and go, it's the Jungle Law guy. Is that Jungle Law? It's Jungle Law guy.
Right.
And he goes, so we ended up taking him as an undrafted free agent. So like what does he know? Is he some savant this year? What did he come down? Bashard Smith, SMU. He was a wide receiver, made him a running back. Boom. We're like, okay, well, yeah, we're looking at him. We'll check him out. Look at him some more. We take him in the 7th round. It's like, hey, go check with the savant down in graphics.
Right.
And so anyway, Jordan's a great guy and terrific, super talented. But this guy, because you guys know at the beginning of the draft, I was going, who's the third down back? Who's it going to be? I'm still kind of weeping over the loss of Pirine. Pirine was so good in that role.
Mm-hmm.
This guy potentially has that. Now, he's been a wide receiver, but did you see the quote from the SMU coach when he transferred from Miami to SMU? He said, we're moving you to running back. We want to make you the SMU version of Isaiah Pacheco.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
But I don't view him like Pacheco. Like I view Pacheco more of a bruiser in between the tackles. Smith, I view more of a guy that can be that passing game, that Pirine guy, that kind of, that scat back that we used to call it back in the day.
To me, he has a potential, and I got to be careful here because I get ahead of myself. This is a younger version of Jerick McKinnon, which going into this draft, I said, who's the younger version of Jerick McKinnon? Angle routes, circle routes, mismatches, but he's got to still be able to pass protect, and this guy's just a baby at the running back position. But I loved in his one of the positives, great feel. See if you guys like this. Great feel for the scramble drill.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Ooh, you better know what's going on.
He's the best
right?
quarterback in the scramble drill right now. And then the production he had last year at SMU was stupid. He ran for 1,300 yards.
Yep.
He had 330 yards receiving, 14 touchdowns rushing, and another 4 receiving. So he drops because of the size. They don't think he's a running back. They think he's just a wide receiver. So let Andy Reid and Todd Pinkston and Matt Nagy cook with this guy. But I'm excited because we may have the new Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, it seems like they I don't want to say solved, but they addressed all of their needs in this draft. What do you take away big picture from these last 3 days for this team?
Well, let's go back to the alpha point where we said what they did, what Brett Veach and his staff did up into the draft. Here's where that really came into play. They're at 31. The Eagles are worried because they don't know what the Chiefs are going to do. There's no glaring need. Now you think, well, they're going to take Josh Simmons. Well, they may not. And so the Eagles want to jump up to get the linebacker that they got from Alabama so that another team doesn't jump them and trades out with the Chiefs. And the Chiefs trade out with that team. So because you're so comprehensive and you're not just begging for a position, that allows you to do that. What do? You get the 5th-round pick back. That allows you then to package these trades and move up for the guys we just mentioned. That's where the first thing happened. And the second thing was to go beyond the obvious. One of the things I talk about when I speak publicly now is being curious. If I sit down with the two of you, we're going to talk, but I'm going to go deeper into your life. I'm going to try to get 5 to 6 layers deeper. What don't I know, or what should I know? And that's where Veach and his guys do such a great job. You have a boxer, you got an MMA fighter, you got a point guard, and to me, that's super valuable.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and it should be a valuable lesson for parents out there too that are trying to, my son's a baseball player, my daughter's a soccer player, my daughter's this, or my son is that. You've got to be well-rounded. And all of these guys, it seems like that the Chiefs have drafted, have a well-rounded athletic background.
It's precisely that. But that's look up and down the roster of the Chiefs.
Yeah, right.
And so we have baseball players, we've got basketball players, we've got wrestlers. You've got water polo guys like Karlaftis. But all that.
Have you ever tried to play water polo? I tried it for 1 day at KU my freshman year. I was out. I mean, it is so hard.
At 30 seconds, I'd be at the bottom of the pool. There's no way I could do that. Do you get a touch?
Yeah.
You never touch the bottom of the pool?
It is excruciating. Yeah.
But I'm just saying. And then you go into Karlaftis had to be the dad of his family. His dad dies young. The Greek law, he's got to be a dad at 12 years old. Who does that? Pacheco's siblings are murdered within 14 months of each other. He stays at Rutgers to help his family. That's the kind of stuff you dig into. It goes way past being, hey, he's 4.35, let's take him. So you've got to be good enough. But Veach and his staff do a great job of vetting. dig in 6 layers deep, and find the guys that win championships.
No doubt about it, Mitch. We appreciate the time, and now we get ready for the schedule release in about 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks.
I'm headed to a meeting on that later today. So.
Get your passports ready.
I didn't say that.
I was just saying, do you want to say anything
Wait a
else?
minute. Whoa. On the record, before we go to break, I did not say that. Mitch Holtz did not say that.
Is that Belichick's girlfriend telling him to stop that?
Everybody is saying that the Chiefs are playing in this Friday night game. You know, even I think Clark addressed it the other day and whatnot. I think that'd be a great way to open the season on the road in where is it? Brazil against the Chargers. I think that would be a lot of fun. But you know, with the Chiefs, man, you may be playing 10 international games before it's all said and done. Everybody wants Mahomes.
Senator, I have no recollection of that.
Plead the fifth.
Stay focused,
That's
Dusty.
right. You
And
as
don't
well,
sleep
sir.
on Saturday, ever. That's
Never.
Stay focused and don't sleep on Saturday.
Yes, sir. That is Mitch Holtz, voice of the Chiefs. Coming up on the other side, we talked to our guy of the Royals. Our Royals insider, Josh Vernier, gets to sit down and talk to us about what was a great week at the K. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Royals.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at Park and Go do an amazing job when it comes to airport parking because every spot is covered. Whether you're traveling in the winter or the summer, the spring, the fall, you want your car protected from all of the elements. You don't want to come back and have to scrape snow or ice off your car, or you don't want to come back and have the interior faded because it was, getting beat on by the sun all day while you were gone out of town. No, at Park and Go, they've got all covered parking, so your car is always protected. And it's so easy to make a reservation. After you book that flight reservation, make your reservation at bookparkandgo.com or with their easy-to-use app. And then you're going to prepay because when you prepay, you're going to save money and get their lowest rate possible. So take care of all of that. That way, when you show up on the day of your flight, you're ready to go. There's no stress. Just give them that reservation number, park in that covered parking spot they have reserved for you, and then boom, you're on your way to the airport terminal in no time at all because that van meets you right away. And when you get back, just grab your bag, walk off the plane, walk outside. There's the van. Jump on it, and it's right back to the trunk of your car. So do what we did and join their frequent parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
At Busey Bank and Cross First Bank, we're partnering to help make your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth, cash flow management, and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Together, we're building extraordinary impact in business, wealth, and community. Busey Bank and Cross First Bank. Member FDIC.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We've got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
DQ presents how to hit summer's sweet spot. The new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu is here. And as the official treat of MLB, we're swinging big with our fan favorite S'mores Blizzard Treat. Plus, new mixing bowl mashup with brownie batter and chocolate chip cookie dough. And even more in our Stack Summer lineup. Hurry in today because nothing says summer like baseball and our new Summer Blizzard Treat menu. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Offer in-store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
March 2012. That's when we started Connolly Plumbing Solutions. It has been a wild ride. If you have had us take care of plumbing issues for you, we thank you. If you haven't, next time you need a plumber, we would love the opportunity to win you over. Locally owned and family operated, serving the entire Kansas City metro area. Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The sport brought to you by Midwest Auto Services. Kansas side, 635 southbound, very heavy around Metropolitan and stays slow all the way down towards Shawnee Drive with an accident still blocking the right lane. Is driving your vehicle like fighting a wild bull? Does it lead, pull, or feel out of sync when you accelerate or brake? Are you replacing tires a lot due to poor wear? Let Midwest Auto Services check your alignment. Call 816-224-4247 or MidwestAutoservices.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Welcome back to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Long-time listener and supporter of you because you tell it like it is.
Here's our Royals insider, Josh Vernier.
Man, bringing ladies to tears on the pre- and post-game show is the one, the only, the almighty Josh Vernier. Vern, how are you on this Monday morning with a day off today?
I actually think Bink was filling in that day. I think she was talking to Binkley. I'm doing very well. How you guys doing?
Dude, I can't complain. 6 of 7, right? You won 6 in a row. You go 5-1 on a homestand. You took care of Colorado like you were supposed to. You took 2 out of 3 from the Houston Astros like you should have. And Lugo, man, lot to talk about, right? I mean, I think they erase a 6-game losing streak with a 6-game winning streak, which I know there are two sides of this. People feel either really good about that, or it's kind of deflating because you had to win 6 in a row to, defeat 6 in a row.
And look, there's also some out there, and I'm sure they're listening right now, that kind of dismiss the 6-game winning streak because of the opponent in the Colorado Rockies. Yeah. And, Vern, they can't beat Detroit, and they can't beat the Yankees, and they can't do this. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's April, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, the 28th.
Yeah,
the problem is, Vern, though, everybody looks at a baseball game like it's equivalent of an NFL game, my friend.
But even on that, I mean, you guys know better than me, there will be Chiefs fans panicking in week 3 for some reason. Yeah. Even though Patrick Mahomes is still your quarterback, Andy Reid is still your head coach, and Chris Jones is still on that defensive line. Now, I'm not saying that the Royals are the Chiefs, not at all. But
Royals
April.
is a Chief.
You're healthy, correct. Do we know, does he play baseball? Will he throw out a first pitch? Have they already put that jersey together?
Mitch came on and talked to us about basketball. He was a point guard and played a little basketball. And so I don't know if he's a baseball guy, but if he's not wearing 85, he's clearly missing the boat.
Agreed. Royals now 14-15. Yeah, I wish they were in first place, but they have 5 months to try and track down Detroit. You have 6 games against the Tigers at the end of August. Those games are going to be big, whether the Royals were in first place right now or where they're at a game below 500. But they're healthy. It's April, and in April, to me, the most important thing, and I understand a lot of the names and the faces are the same, but it is a new team. Denny teaches us this every year. For as much as we want this sophomore album to be a carbon copy of that smash success from last summer, it's going to be different. And in this first month of the season, look at all of the lessons that have been learned inside that clubhouse. Look at how the team has come together, right? They've learned that we can ride our rotation. They are once again a bunch of studs in that starting rotation. They've learned that Jonathan India, despite a brutal start, both offensively and defensively, he's still an energy giver. He's still a tough SOB. He's still a good teammate that you want in the trenches with you. They've learned that Carlos Estevez has their back like we saw last Sunday in Detroit, and Carlos Estevez has learned that the team has his back like we saw Tuesday against Colorado. They've learned that Michael Massey and Vinny Pasquantino, when they're going through a rough slump with high expectations, that they're not going to point fingers. They're going to keep sticking their chest out, hold their heads up high. I think the team-building aspects of this month of April should offset any disappointment that's out there with the 14 and 15 record.
Yeah, I mean, the 14 and 15 record is what it is, but you've got to just start winning series, right? And that's what it's all about. And you did that. You beat Colorado. You took care of business. Kept the losing team losing. They are absolutely. I mean, I don't know, man. People want to talk about the White Sox being bad. Colorado, they just given up on life out there.
And here's the thing, Bob. With Colorado, they're the only team in baseball averaging fewer runs per game than the Royals.
Right.
And they're 19 games below 500. The only team in baseball with a worse OPS than the Royals are the White Sox, and they're 14 games below 500. So the fact that the Royals' rotation, defense, bullpen have been good enough to offset one of the worst offenses in the sport and keep you in the mix, I'm not saying let's throw a party, but let's acknowledge, especially if you've been around for a while with this team, man, we still have 5 months of baseball to look forward to, and you're still right in the thick of it.
And this is not a final roster either, Vern. I mean, that's what everybody seems to think. Like, oh, this is it for. No, they'll go out and make a move. Like, who are they going to go out and acquire? I don't know who they're going to go out and acquire. I don't know what moves they're going to make, who they're going to give up to kind of make those moves. But that's where we are now. April, for all intents and purposes, is over. We're through 30 games. We're through that first month. You kind of have an idea who you are. The next 40 games or so, you evaluate kind of what you need and where you can go get it. And so that's what we're looking at. Who you start looking at rosters like the Rockies or the Braves or some of these other teams that aren't doing so good, and see who you can poach off of those rosters. The problem is, who can you give up, though? It's not like they have a deep pool, and that is a little concerning for me.
Well, take on some money then,
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, there's no indication over the past 2 years that J.J. Piccolo and John Sherman are going to sit on their hands.
Right.
Seth Lugo can leave after this season. There's no promises that the rotation's ever going to be this good again. I didn't think they would be able to match what they've done or what they did last season, but so far, most innings pitched in Major League Baseball, second most punch-outs in Major League Baseball, and a top 5 ERA of 3.34. Actions speak louder than words, and the actions of this organization over the past few seasons is, for as much as we thought they were going to copy Tampa and Cleveland, they're not pinching pennies the same way that Tampa and Cleveland have done in the past. Furthermore, to your point about the roster, man, we didn't even get to the end of April, and JJ already said goodbye to MJ Melendez.
Right.
We didn't even get to the beginning of May, and Dusty, your boy, Cags, has already made 2 starts in right field. So, they can say, it's early and, we're being patient, but they're being very anti-Royals patient. The patience that we've seen over the past decade and a half, actions speak louder than words, and the actions are, Cags is being viewed as someone that could help this season. We're not going to allow Chris Stratton, hopefully, and Hunter Renfroe to continue to, drag this team down. I'll be surprised if and when Hunter Harvey returns, if Chris Stratton hangs on to his spot on the roster. And you're seeing him right now giving Hunter Renfroe his last opportunities here, because if he doesn't pick it up, Mark Canha's not only going to take those at-bats, but someone's going to come along and take that roster spot of Hunter Renfroe. And then, yeah, Bob, like you're saying, man, throw in the trade deadline. And that team that faces Detroit at the end of August, those 6 meetings at the end of August, that team could look a lot stronger. It should look a lot stronger because there's no way that Michael Massey's the second worst everyday player in the American League, or that Bobby or Jonathan India are one of the 15 worst everyday players in the American League. That's going to turn around. There will be some reinforcements. I'm not saying that this team is a lock to go to the postseason, but the summer will be entertaining.
You know, and you mentioned Mark Canha. What a great pickup that was on, like, the Saturday before spring training ended. The time when we were out there, I'm like, who the hell is this guy, Mark Canha? When did we get him? And they're like, oh, this today. I'm like, all right, cool. And now he's hitting like 360, and he's playing positions for you, and may lead to Hunter Renfroe no longer being part of this team.
Yeah, listen, it's wild to say, but if you ask the question of game on the line, you need one at-bat. Well, I'm calling on Bobby first, of course. Salvi's track record forces me to say his name second. But right now, Mark Canha's probably third, of a guy that I want standing in the batter's box with a man on third and 2 outs. Just a very professional at-bat. No, he doesn't have the talent of a Salvi or a Bobby, but he does have just as much experience as a Salvador Perez, and he does have a very calm and professional approach at the dish. He's been outstanding and another great addition by this front office.
What would you say happens first, Vern? Would you say that Caglione gets promoted to AAA or Hunter Renfroe gets DFA'd?
AAA. I would say Cags gets the bump up to AAA. I would hope sometime soon. Now, the numbers that he's putting up at AA are very good. They're not great. You know, they're not. He's embarrassing the pitching, and he's knocking the door down a lot like you look at the other members of last year's draft class that have made it to the big leagues. The kid that was called up last week out of the Athletics. I don't even think they have a city, but the Athletics. You know, this is a guy that dominated AA last year, dominated AAA to the tune of an OPS north of 1,100. It forced the Athletics' hand to call him up to the big leagues. You know, Cags' OPS right now is top 25 in the Texas League, but you know, I think we were all kind of hoping and still maintain hope that OPS will get up towards 1,000. He'll be one of the powers of that Texas League, and then I think you give him that bump up to Omaha. And being in AA right now, as he learns a position he hasn't played since high school, it's somewhat less pressure for the 22-year-old. So certainly by this time next month, I would expect him in Omaha. That's for sure.
Do you think that Vinny will be able to find what he's missing? I mean, it's been a month now. It's kind of concerning to me. What do you think? How do you feel about Vinny right now?
Of the checklist of concerns, that to me is the most prominent one that remains. You know, the bullpen in the absence of Hunter Harvey, I think there's been, led by Steven Cruz, quite a few options that have impressed. You know, Salvi had his big breakout on Thursday. Jonathan India, I guess I would put him in there because this offense is not going to climb out of the basement of baseball without Vinny and Jonathan India turning it around. Cags isn't coming to the big leagues, in my opinion, if Vinny and India don't turn it around. The thing that's most puzzling right now is the strikeout total. You know, Vinny as a rookie struck out 11% of the time, 12% in his second year, 13% in his third year, and he's around 20% this season. You know, a guy that I called the undeniable one because, man, he's undeniable behind a microphone, and you're not punching him out. Well, this season, he's punched out quite a bit. Do I think it's mechanical? Well, I'm not necessarily smart enough to truly break down the swing of a guy that is a consistent 800 OPS guy, a consistent 270 hitter. What I found encouraging on this homestand goes back to the series against Houston, the opener, when he takes, or game 2, when he takes Framber Valdez deep. The day before that, he got jammed, fought it off to center field, and I've heard plenty of great hitters say, when I'm going through a slump, I want to get jammed. It helps me feel my hands and find my barrel. His next at-bat, he hit a hard line drive right to the second baseman. Next day at the ballpark, he takes the 2-time All-Star lefty Framber Valdez 412 feet over the right field wall. So there were some positive signs in that Houston series. Hopefully that goes into St. Pete. Bob, as you know, that ballpark down there, much like the ballpark in Sacramento, have been a launching pad so far this season. So if the offense is going to get going, if Vinny's going to get clicking, let's hope it begins on this road trip. Let's hope it begins in St. Pete. But, for as much as the home runs and the extra base hits are needed, the punch-outs need to be eliminated. Bobby's doing a great job. It doesn't matter who's hitting behind him right now. But Vinny's so key to this team and any success that they're going to have. The punch-outs need to dwindle, and the extra base hits need to pick up, and hopefully that comes soon. Because right now, to me, that's the last. That's the last step for this team. Once Vinny and Jonathan India get going, well, now we're finally getting our first look at the 2025 Royals as they were expected to be comprised, led by the big names at the top of the lineup, led by the great rotation, some big arms at the back end, solid defense, decent base running. But right now, everyone's picking up that offense. You would like to see that type of support reciprocated beginning on this 6-game road trip.
Do you think he's still banged up, or is it something else with Vinny?
Well, if he's banged up, they should give him a few days, right?
Yeah, the injury from last year didn't heal. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not fully 100% back from that yet. I don't know. I'm just looking for something here, Vern.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, anything's possible. And big leaguers, man, they're never going to bring up an injury, so he's not going to voice it. But in conversations with him and the coaching staff, they say he remains in great spirits, still bringing the same energy every single day to the ballpark. You see him out there still playing a pretty solid first base. He's bringing great energy to the dugout. What I'm seeing with Michael Massey and Vinny Pasquantino, it does seem as if the physical and the mental are kind of having a battle right now. But again, 80% of the season ahead of him, and the track record of Vinny says he'll get out of it. The track record of Michael Massey says we need him to get out of it. Right? Cags isn't here yet. And the team doesn't necessarily have that thump in the 5 spot. For as good as Drew Waters and Maikel Garcia have been, they're more table setters than table clears. Michael Massey needs to get going and be one of those table clears.
Vern, I know it's 19 games, but at what point do you start to kind of get interested in a hitting streak?
Well, I already think it's pretty cool because Bobby's the guy in Major League Baseball. If anyone's going to threaten Whit Merrifield's 31-game hit streak or Paul Molitor's American League hit record or what Pete Rose did back in the day or, I guess Paul Molitor's is the American League record. Joe DiMaggio's is, of course, the American League record. Bobby's the guy to do it. Bobby's not going to go through extended funks because he's too fast. He can hit a ground ball to the shortstop and it goes down as a knock. Man, it's always exciting watching Bobby play, whether he has a hitting streak or not. It's another reason to tune in to see what the best baseball player on the planet's going to do for his latest show. How long can he carry this? The reason why I don't think DiMaggio's record will ever be broken is because of relievers, right? You're not facing the same pitcher 4 times like DiMaggio was back in the day. You're also traveling west of the Mississippi, unlike Joe DiMaggio. But if anybody's going to make a legitimate run at it, Bobby is that player. He has all the tools. He has everything that it takes, including just an endlessly positive attitude and showing up to the ballpark expecting good things to happen. So I'm excited right now, man.
No doubt about it, Vern. We appreciate the time. Enjoy the off day. By the way, Beakley's doing another draft show, so if you want to tune in to that, Vern, man, let me tell you something.
Is he still pissed off about the kid from Ohio State?
I think so,
I think he's still mad about that.
And that was great radio. I was listening to their show live.
Oh, it was fantastic.
On Thursday, and right away he hated it, and I turned it up. I go, he's not getting off this for a week.
Even you can hear it. Like, it's just crazy.
I appreciate it.
Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State.
I hate this pick, actually. Don't like it.
So great, Vern.
I appreciate it. That's good.
As always,
that's
man.
Big League could do, too, right?
Right.
I hate this pick. Everybody's excited.
And people go with it. If anyone else said that immediately, they'd be like, get off my radio. But Binkley says it, and people are like, yeah, I hate it too, Binkley.
Yeah. Maybe I should hate this pick. Jay doesn't like it.
Damn arms are too small.
You know some guys muttering that around the office, too. Well, arms are too small.
Oh, yeah. They parrot anything Binkley tells them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Vern. We'll hear you tomorrow night on the On Deck show as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays. And then,
all right, boys. Appreciate
we'll talk to
it.
you next week. You bet. Josh Verdon, Royals Insider right there here on Fescoe and Dusty.
He ain't wrong about that, man. Like, Vinny needs to get it going. In this minor league ballpark, it's time for Vinny Pasquantino to pick it up because, I mean, I don't want to sound like baseball nerd here, but like long looping swings, that uppercut, and like it just doesn't look right. You know what I'm saying? Like you just watch him swing and you're like, something ain't right.
I can hear my dad in the back of my head right now. You've been playing wiffle ball in the backyard, haven't you? Why? Your swing's off. Oh.
Well, it's true.
Yeah, he did hit a home run. He did hit one.
He did.
But it's like, what was it, Sunday's game? They had two on, Bobby Witt, or they had, one on or two on with one out. Bobby Witt comes up, strikes out. Vinny comes up, strikes out, inning over. I'm like, well, that's a problem.
Yeah. Like, he's the one right now. I'm not as concerned with Jonathan India. I guess I'm just like, I like him too much to be kind of like Vern talked about his bad defense and whatnot. And yesterday, obviously, he didn't look great out there. But
he
I'm
was
like,
lost in left field.
I'm like, I like him. I think he's going to be fine. He's a veteran type of player. But the Vinny one for me is concerning because if he doesn't hit, then what are we going to do? You know,
because that's all really Vinny offers you.
Right.
Is hitting.
Right.
Like at the 4 spot.
Right.
Like behind your superstar.
Right.
And it's like, hey, man, like you're padded between Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez. Like, kind of needs you to do something here.
Right.
Like, like maybe one of the best catchers to ever hit and maybe the best baseball players, Vern says, on the planet. You ought to be seeing some fastballs, and you're not doing it. And, yeah, him and Massey, it's huge holes in this offense because he's got to be that provider. I'm not saying he's going to have 110 RBIs every year, but 90. I mean, knock some people in.
I'm going to ask this question. Maybe it's rhetorical, maybe it's not, but I want Mac, you to weigh in as well. I don't understand how you go from having a year like Vinny did last year to what's going on right now.
Call video. People watched Vinny because the Royals were a good team, and they got a lot on tape of Vinny Pasquantino. Before that, he's been hurt.
Yeah.
He hasn't played a full season. Last year, he had his best season because he played the most he's ever played, and people said, okay, here's what he hits, here's what he can't hit.
But he did a great job all of last year. Like, teams make these adjustments as the season's going. Players make the adjustments as the season's going, and he was always doing a great job of it, obviously, adjusting to the league. We saw how good he was.
And we will see that with,
year.
Daniels in Washington. Right? Like,
yeah, right. This will be a big year for him. How does he adjust to the league? Which everybody said Mahomes' second year, you know?
Look at what was his name? CJ Stroud, sophomore year. Was
not as good.
And now he had a top 5 rookie year in the NFL, his rookie year of all time. But again, like, video got out, people realized tendencies, and they attacked them. And it's up to you to power through those and like figure out how to adjust to that.
I think
he
a lot of
that
it.
yet.
I mean, and it's not just Vinny. The entire lineup, other than Bobby, has been struggling. I think they're getting fed way too much information, again, by these hitting coaches and these nerds and these stats and all this kind of stuff, that I do think a lot of these guys are going up there going, oh, what? Like, and that's why I jokingly see ball, hit ball type stuff or keep it simple and all that kind of stuff. You do. I think there's so much information with these guys right now that they just don't know what to do.
You put a lot of blame on Zumi.
I put a lot of blame on the baseball idea of information being something that we need to give these guys because there's too much of it. You've got to be able to dumb it down, if you will. Give them just a little bit of stuff that's going to make them successful. Not like, remember that binder that Mitch brought in? This is how I picture it, right? Every hitter has that huge binder that Mitch has. They don't need that binder. They need the one sheet. Give me a one sheet. And I feel like they've got this binder of information. Their heads are all swimming because it's not just Vinny. It's everybody in this lineup that's not hitting right now. So is it because of they're just not good? I don't buy that. Is it because they have too much information? I tend to lean to that side. So get rid of those big binders. Just give everybody a one sheet, man, and say, go do your thing.
What were those books called? Like Hitting Baseballs for Dummies? Is that what they need?
Oh,
like,
the
Dummies books.
The Dummies books. I bought all of those when I first started this business to read about. Basketball, hockey, baseball.
That's actually a good idea.
Football. They're great books. They really are. I mean,
here's the basics. Here's everything you need to know. Boom.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good information. You can always learn. You know, I know everything. No, you really don't. You start to read these books, you're like, oh, okay, this is why this goes here and whatnot. So, no, I would suggest reading those books, for everyone. But for these baseball players, a one sheet is all you need, man. You don't need this binder. These people in front offices are justifying jobs by doing all this kind of stuff. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's a good thing Mel Kiper's not in the front office, because if he was, Shadeur Sanders would have been the first overall pick. We asked the text line, 913-586-7965. Has there ever been a Chiefs player that you just always went to bat for, kind of in the same way that Mel Kiper did? We'll explain who we have on our list here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Hey, it's Michael Waka, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
Okay, so I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Do you know a coach who goes above and beyond? The Royals, the CU and the Major Leagues Foundation, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City are recognizing those impactful men and women. Nominate your high school coach at royals.com/coacheswithcharacter.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Kansas City. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Hellsberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Offer in-store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
It's almost Andy Reid. The offseason is a perfect time for a $100 tune-up from Renner Garage Door. Get a free replacement quote today. Call or click rennerdoor.com. Renner forward and back.
RENNER.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 635 southbound, still heavy, but it's lightened up a bit. You're slow rolling approaching Gibbs, stays heavy down to Shawnee Drive with an accident still blocking the right lane. 35 northbound slows at the merge to 69 highway, stays off again on again, slow up past Antioch with an earlier accident. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Oh, the odds are out, and boy, are they fresh off the press. So, according to DraftKings Sportsbooks, depending on how much you think Joe Flacco is going to be a starter for the Cleveland Browns, you better run to DraftKings right now if you're in Kansas. So they have odds for a quarterback to take first snap of the regular season in Week 1 for the Cleveland Browns. Kenny Pickett, minus 110.
That's the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That's stunning to me. Is anybody else stunned by Kenny Pickett being the favorite in Cleveland to be the starter this year?
Not as much as I'm stunned to see who they think the backup quarterback is.
Who?
Shadeur Sanders is plus 175 to take the first snap for Cleveland this year, followed by Dillon Gabriel at plus 500, followed by Joe Flacco at plus 1,200, and then Deshaun Watson is at plus 1,500.
Okay, the plus 1,200 for Joe Flacco and then plus 1,500 for Deshaun Watson. Like, somebody, can you still hit that bet, or do they take that one off the board? Because that, Watson, to me,
yes!
I mean, Deshaun Watson at plus 1,500, I wouldn't waste my money on that one. Now, plus 50 million, that's, okay, I'll throw a buck on that. But the Joe Flacco one, to me, like, he screams starter in Cleveland. I don't know, maybe I'm looking at that wrong, but how do you... like, when they signed Myles Garrett, they told him that they were going to fix the quarterback situation. Myles Garrett's waking up this morning going, Kenny Pickett has the best odds to be our starter? Fixed. I don't think so. Like, I would think Joe Flacco's got to be that guy as of right now to be your starter. Like, if I'm in Cleveland right now, the way that I'm looking at it is Joe Flacco's my 1, Kenny Pickett is my 2, just because he's been in the NFL for a couple of years. Dillon Gabriel and Shadeur Sanders can battle it out for the 3rd, and then the loser of that battle makes the practice squad, and Deshaun Watson is cut.
Watson,
like,
yes!
I just don't understand those odds and how they came to that logic. I don't know.
You might put $20 on Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I would.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Joe Flacco should be the like plus 1,200,
unless he just doesn't make the roster coming out of camp. Or out of
which
the
would not make sense.
Yeah, right.
Then why are we signing Joe Flacco?
Why are we paying $4 million?
We didn't know Shadeur was going to fall to the 5th.
Well, I mean, but
let alone get Gabriel as well, and you have Kenny Pickett, so you go youth and experience in some weird Cleveland way. Why are we trying to figure out Cleveland?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Why are we trying to figure out Cleveland?
About the same thing that happens every year.
But like, until Shadeur is ready to be an NFL quarterback, he's not going to be an NFL quarterback, and being an NFL quarterback requires a lot of work.
No doubt. No doubt. So you brought up a list of, or an idea, because Mel was just glazing young Sanders.
I mean, I've never seen anything like this before.
Mitch,
right?
He joined us, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on."
Like,
and
neither did Reese Davis.
Good for Riso, because Mel kept trying to interrupt him. And he was like, "Oh, dude, you've had your 2 full days, man, and just shut up and let me just tell you what I think." And I thought it was great because you hear the audio. Mel's like, and then he's like, "I don't care about that." And he's like, "But I stop." He's like, "I'm getting this off my chest before you get to keep going." And he's like, "Well, Sims and Brady, they pan out." Like, shut up.
I mean,
go back to the coffin.
I mean, the references that he used, but it doesn't matter the references that he used. It doesn't matter. Again, this is where the NFL draft, and everybody's saying Shadeur Sanders is slipping. According to who? Media? Not according to the NFL talent evaluators, because every NFL talent evaluator passed on Shadeur Sanders at least 4 times. Some a 5th time. Some had multiple picks that they passed on Shadeur Sanders on. So when people say, oh, this guy is sliding, this guy is dropping, as opposed to a fake list the media put out, maybe not a real list that the talent evaluators are actually looking at. Because if he was that good and that talented, you don't fall to the 5th round. You just don't in the NFL, where every team, no matter who you are, is starved for talent.
Or maybe the talent is there, but the personality outweighs in a negative way than the talent does in a positive way. We're like, this guy might be talented as all hell, but his personality and who he is as a person diminishes that talent because you can't coach him on the field and bring that talent to fruition. So I think there's a lot of issues with that, and he's got time to maybe fix that narrative. But he
needs to be humble. But anyway, so he goes to bat for this guy, right? Like I've never seen before. Is there a player in sports that you've gone to bat for, like Mel Kiper has, where you're completely wrong, but man, you're going to still keep going back to the well? Because that was Matt Castle for me. And
I saw the one good year.
Well, I did, but I also heard a lot of what was going on behind the scenes, and I really felt bad for Matt Castle. Like that was like being the lone child in a divorced parent relationship for Matt Castle with Pioli and Haley. Like one side's telling you A, the other side's telling you B, one side's telling you your mom stinks, the other side's telling you your dad's no good, and so you become that kid in the middle of a toxic relationship. And I think ultimately that's where Matt Castle was for me. I don't think he ever got the true opportunity to be a good quarterback here in Kansas City.
I mean, we keep it Chiefs related. I was like that with Eric Warfield. I thought, safety corner out of Nebraska, high draft pick, maybe not super high, but
3rd round.
Yeah, I thought he was going to come here and be better. And I was like, he'll be better. And he's just getting cooked every week. It's like, there's 44s back of his jersey again. And then maybe Moyaki, because he had the one catch.
That one catch was phenomenal.
And he was in that sweet spot between Gonzalez and Kelsey. We didn't know if Kelsey was coming yet. And Gonzalez had just left to go to a winning franchise, he said, in Atlanta.
That was like 2010 when Tony Moyaki made that catch.
And he just, opening day against the Niners, and just one-handed framed it. One of my buddies bought the jersey, and I was like, this guy might be a good tight end. And he's from Iowa. Could be good.
Could be real good.
Wasn't.
It dissipated.
And I mean,
fast.
I was still week 9. Like, hey, we got Moyaki. They're like, who? I'm like, that guy that made the catch.
Yeah,
that was him as a guy who makes a catch means he's never going to be the guy. So that'd probably be one of the guys I went to bat for, along with
But I also
Warfield.
think Tony Moyaki is a great example of why people don't want to buy into guys, because Tony Moyaki was good in that first game. Like, don't buy into a guy. Give him a whole year to see what he can do before falling in love with somebody. You said Jamal Charles was your guy, Mac? Is it?
Yeah, of course. Jamal Charles and Patrick Mahomes would be my two.
Those are the two you really bought into. Yeah, I understand.
Somebody did say Jamal Charles on the text line.
Jamal Charles.
Which is like, what?
He was always good.
Yeah,
you never had
you were
my favorite Chief ever.
Going to bat.
You never had to prove to anybody that Jamal Charles was a good player.
Somebody says, my brother this day still thinks Derek Blaylock and Spencer Ware could have been stars if the Chiefs didn't screw it up.
I'm with you on Derek Blaylock in a little bit of a way.
Somebody says Alex Smith when we traded for him.
Yeah.
Alex Smith was really good.
I think a lot of people went to bat for Alex Smith because there's a lot of people that are just like, this guy's never going to win anything. He can't throw the ball deep. He gets happy feet and buckles under pressure. Can't win a big game.
Is there a Chiefs fan on earth that doesn't like Alex Smith now?
I don't think so. I mean, beforehand, he was, was always like, you can't throw the deep ball. Tyreek Hill's down the field every time. He doesn't throw it to him. And then he was in that last year, and all of a sudden, Alex Smith was like, watch me throw the deep ball, dude.
Right, yeah, and then started unleashing it. But even his last throw in Kansas City, whenever that was, people were like, this guy stinks. And then he leaves, and Patrick Mahomes comes in there and goes, I owe everything to Alex Smith. And everyone's like, Alex Smith is a legend. Like, it changed so fast. Alex Smith is one hell of a quarterback. I mean, if you're going quarterback hierarchy in Kansas City, Alex Smith is probably the 3rd best all time.
Somebody's saying Dan Sorensen on the text line. And then somebody says, don't tell Binkley, but I think mine will be the Simmons kid. So we'll end it with that one. Coming up on the other side, we'll get back into what Mitch Holtz had to say and maybe what Jay Binkley thinks still about Josh Simmons, because that audio is pure gold and will never die. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 965, Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, my friends over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control have done an unbelievable job for us. Every day I look at that yard and I go, man, I can't believe this is my yard. In fact, I was even talking to one of my neighbors about it the other day. He goes, the lawn's starting to look really good. I go, yeah, the guys over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control have done an unbelievable job. And I don't have to worry about a thing because they take care of it all. They cut it. They put the proper fertilizers down, the pre-treatments, all of that kind of stuff that they need to do that make that yard look good. Aspen Lawn and Pest Control is handling all of it. I've trusted them. I said, just do what you need to do. Take my lawn and make it look good. And boy, they've done that. It's only been about a month, and this lawn looks the best it's ever looked. And that's why I hired the college-educated professionals at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control, because I knew they were going to do an unbelievable job. And they offer full-service lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. And the pest control is the thing we're looking forward to next, putting that mosquito dome over the house, keeping the mosquitoes out of our yard, keeping the ticks and fleas away from the dog. It's going to be such a spectacular summer being able to sit outside and enjoying the outdoors and not having to worry about getting bit by all of those bugs. So you want a great lawn? Get in touch with Aspen Lawn and Pest Control right now, and you'll get up to half off your first application when you mention this ad. Just visit them at aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Guys, let's talk about your prostate. If an enlarged prostate has you rushing to the nearest restroom, frustrated and uncomfortable because you need to go but can't, or it's keeping you up at night, it's time to fix it. Clarity Care offers prostate artery embolization. PAE is a simple office treatment that can shrink your prostate and relieve your symptoms so you can get back to enjoying life. No surgery, just relief. Call Clarity Care today or visit kcprostate.com.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford, here with a huge announcement. This month, it's employee pricing for all at Shawnee Mission Ford. Let me tell you one more time. It's employee pricing for all at Shawnee Mission Ford. You pay what we pay, not 1 cent more. You heard right. We got the employee pricing for everyone on new Fords. But that's not all. When you buy from Shawnee Mission Ford, you not only get employee pricing, but you also get our lifetime powertrain warranty, along with our 1-year Select Plus protection with your new vehicle purchase. This is what makes Shawnee Mission Ford different. You get all of it. Employee pricing on a great selection of new Fords, plus lifetime powertrain warranty, along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. And Shawnee Mission Ford is still going to offer you the highest trade values in Kansas City. Do not miss employee pricing for everyone. From America, for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, where we're on a mission to save you more.
Excludes 25 Super Duties, Raptor Line vehicles, 25 Expeditions, and E-Line vehicles.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis Eloquist.com or call 1-855-ELOQUIS.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 635 southbound improving. Accident at Shawnee Drive has just cleared out of the right lane. You may encounter a lingering slowdown coming down from Metropolitan, but all lanes now getting through. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's Cole Riggins, and this is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Royals baseball.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Is this the song that they were dancing to after Shadeur got picked in the 5th round? And he moved everybody out of the way so he could be seen to the one dancing?
Yes, it's his song.
Who will play more games professionally moving forward? Shadeur Sanders or MJ Melendez?
You're counting big leaguers, big league, not minor league at bats, right? You're counting just in the major leagues.
Games.
See, games, I would definitely say MJ. Yeah, I still think the answer is MJ.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go MJ just because he's got more chances.
Somebody gets hurt. But somebody comes up immediately.
Shadeur went to one of the few teams where he legitimately could play this season.
He could. He absolutely could.
But he could, yeah.
But how do you sell that to Myles Garrett?
Moving forward, who has a longer career in the NFL, Chris Jones or Shadeur Sanders?
I'm going to go Shadeur Sanders.
I am going to go Shadeur, not because I think he's going to be great, but because I think he's a quarterback. And, Deshaun Watson is still playing, for God's sakes.
For now.
Watson, yes!
Yeah, he's at least a second string, right? I think he can make it as a second string somewhere if he gets his, act together.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. And Cleveland is, the obvious situation would have been here for Shadeur Sanders. That would have been the perfect situation for him to be able to grow as a human being. Right? You've got a veteran leader in Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. Find me a better head coach than Andy Reid. A situation where you do not have to come in and play at all. A situation where there would be no expectation for you. Come in here, be that sponge, absorb all of that knowledge and the way to be a quarterback in the NFL. Who's he going to be learning from in Cleveland? Who's going to be that mentor that's there? Whether or not they want to be a mentor. Joe Flacco at 37 years old? Kenny Pickett, who's never done anything in the league?
Two-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski.
Come on now. That's just weak right there. Shadeur Sanders needed to go to a situation that was going to show him how to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. Cleveland is not that. And so the majority now is going to be on Shadeur. Is he going to be a guy that is focused on what he needs to be focused on? Or is he going to be a guy that's focused on hanging out at parties?
I bring up Chris Jones because the Chiefs took a guy out of the University of Tennessee, Norman Lott. Interior guy, rotational type of guy, which is what the Chiefs like to do. And Mitch Holtz, who does nothing but talk, eat, breathe, and sleep the Chiefs, had this to say about Norman Lott earlier on the show.
I told you guys I was excited about Friday and Saturday when I was on with you guys Friday morning. And I'll just be honest with you. I was looking for a starting inside tech to go with Chris right away, day one. Truthfully, I don't think Norman Lott is that guy, but I think he's possibly a better version with a high ceiling of Turk Wharton. He's a one-gap penetrator guy, high motor. He was a good player at Arizona State. Here's what I like about him. It's always the stories behind. He was a boxer, and you see it because his ability, his quickness, his one-gap snap quickness is really good. Now, he also had some penalties, and he's got a little temper maybe. He got suspended in the Florida-Tennessee game when they had that brawl. But even at Arizona State, when he started there, I know Bink talked to you about pass rush rate. He hasn't played a lot of snaps, like 20 snaps. But the other reason, a third reason the Chiefs have been so good defensively is they've had literally 8 defensive linemen that they can rotate, mix and match. It's rare at football at any level to have that. Even the best FBS teams don't have that. And so when you have that kind of lineup, Tillery comes into play here, Mike Pennell, we know what he's been able to do. So you've got a 4-man rotation with those 2 and then Chris and this guy, and you still have your outside guys.
So Turk Wharton was the comp he kind of gives Norman Lott. I kind of see a lot of hearing a lot of that. I think of Colin Saunders.
Yeah.
High energy, low to the ground, active hands, disruptive, being a boxer. He brings up that as well as his backstory, a guy that's going to be able to move. And I heard Matt McMullen's, report on him. He was one of the highest, pass rushing success rates in college football this year. And hey man, if you can be active on 3rd and long or, whatever it is to kind of go disrupt a quarterback when we need you and you need to be on the field for 7 plays as a rookie and you can be impactful that way, solid.
Yeah, and if you can just be a rotational guy in this defense, that's really all you need to be in this defense is that rotational guy because that's what Spags is all about. So I kind of like that. I understand where Mitch is coming from. He wanted that legit day one starter, but when Simmons continues to fall down the board and would have been the best offensive tackle out there had it not been for that knee injury, and you have the opportunity to take a chance on a player, that's why you go ahead and you take that chance on Justin Simmons when you do in the first round. Chiefs had a luxury at that point in time where they could just take anybody. They didn't really need to fill a position. And so they took a guy that may require a little work, but has the upside to be, one of the best offensive tackles, coming out of the draft if he gets to that point where he's healthy again. And so you have the opportunity to take a chance on that. I understand why the Chiefs did that, but I also understand where Mitch is coming from. I was kind of looking for that day one starter on that defensive line. They didn't necessarily get that guy maybe in Norman Lear.
Another guy that kind of fits the Spag scheme is the guy that Mitch talked about on the other side in the same interview.
Well, I really see him similar as George. I think,
I thought that was on. This is on Jonathan Bassa.
A little bit because he's the tweener guy, right? There's your cliche, but man, he's an athlete. He was a 4-year special teams guy with the Ducks, even though he was a starter. Still stayed on teams. You look at his production; it's there. Kind of a cover. He can cover, hybrid guy, but at the Senior Bowl, he ran the huddle for the national team. So he became even a Nick Bolton guy. So there's one of your kind of stories behind. He started as a safety, didn't play football till 9th grade. He's helped his sister fight through cancer. So you've got that kind of Pacheco-ish kind of story. But I just think he's a splendid athlete. I think that he can be a sub-down guy. I'm not saying he's Willie Gay Jr., but he's closer to Willie Gay Jr. than some of the other guys we've had since Willie Gay Jr. So I think Bass is a really good pickup.
So Bass is the guy from Oregon, outside guy. You got to think about the Chiefs in the future. I think Leo Chenal probably is here because he's not going to be expensive. I think Nick Bolton, we obviously know he's going to be here, and Mitch said that he's a will linebacker, so weak side linebacker, which is what I believe Willie Gay played as well. And you look at that position, maybe that's where Drew Tranquil's tenure as a Chiefs ends, and when that does happen, in steps this Bassa guy, and all of a sudden your linebacker is patched up for the next 2 or 3 years if it is the end and near sight for one Drew Tranquil.
Well, and that's kind of another way to look at it as well. Is it Drew Tranquil's time to move out? And when he was talking about being kind of that captain of the defense and wearing the green dot in the Senior Bowl, that's what I immediately thought, oh, maybe he's going to take over eventually for Nick Bolton in that role. Obviously, it's not the same position that Nick Bolton plays, but in that role of wearing that green dot, being your leader on the helmet. But, you look at Leo Chenal, it's maybe it's getting closer to that time where it's maybe time to move him out, or whatever the case may be, or Drew Tranquil at that position. Maybe it's time to move those guys out and start getting a little bit younger out there. And if this guy can come in and be Willie Gay Jr., we kind of lost that last year. We missed Willie Gay Jr., I thought, last year,
Yeah, and Drew Tranquil just turned 30, and he's been the coverage linebacker, but it's not like he's going to be able to do that forever. We know Nick Bolton's deficiencies when it comes to tight ends. This is exactly what the Chiefs needed. This is my favorite pick from this weekend's draft.
That's your favorite one,
I think
really?
it's my favorite
Okay.
one. Yeah, I love a sideline to sideline linebacker who can cover tight ends, plug a gap. I mean, this guy's a beast. I think he's going to be a day one impact guy.
What got me excited about Norman Lear was when Mitch talked about blowing up those bubble screens and those, those plays, because
100%.
we've seen the Chiefs dominate those plays before, where they try to run those little bubble screens and little, passes to the running back out in the flat, and they try to set things up. You got to be able to blow that play up. You got to be quick on your feet. And all the video I saw of your guy, Norman, like that guy looked like he could move, man.
Moves,
like,
athletic.
I hate to use the term cat-like quickness because we always want to use that for a big guy, but that guy was getting all over the field in the videos that I saw him.
100%. Well, I think Dusty brought up Colin Saunders. It's a great comp.
I think so,
Big,
too.
athletic guy who can move side to side. A 300-pound frame doesn't stop him from moving.
Norman Lear passed away on December 5th, 2023. Norman Lott was picked by the Chiefs in the second round. No, because somebody said,
heard of him.
Does Bob know that he's calling him Norman Lear? I'm like, wow, welcome to the show.
We are on FM now.
Yeah.
816 said, do we feel that we drafted any right-away starters in this draft?
No.
Okay.
Say that again?
Do we feel that we drafted any right-away starters?
Well, define starter.
Starting opening week
Like,
one.
because you look at, like, the wide receiver, the Royals kid, right? Let's just take him for example, right?
Yep.
I expect him to be an impact player, but is he a starter?
No, he's not the top three, no.
But if he's an impact player.
Yeah, he's going to play.
You
He
know,
will be by week 4 or 5, I think.
The running back that they got in the 7th round, probably not going to be your quote-unquote, I hate that term starter because they just move so many different guys around,
This
lot
guy,
of it
Norman
is-
Lott,
right.
rotation players going to be playing 50% of the snaps. Is that a starter? I don't know. It's a lot.
But that's half the snaps.
Yeah, it's a lot of snaps.
That's a key part of your, like, the whole, is he a starter? That makes, to me, more sense for baseball, maybe even basketball for a little bit of a level.
Yeah.
Hockey, you're flipping guys in every 2 minutes on line changes. Football, you're constantly shuffling guys in and out based on what formation or package you want to use or however you want to approach a team. Like this guy, Royals, may be a starter in week 2 in Brazil against the Chargers, but he wasn't a starter in week 1 at home against the Texans or whatever the case may be, because they see something in the Chargers that they can exploit versus something that they couldn't in the Texans. I'm obviously just using, generic terms and all of that kind of stuff. So the term starter for me, I'm always like, it's nice to see your name on the screen, but I think all of these guys are going to have big impacts for this team.
Red flags, prank calls, and slip sliding away. That's not a, Paul Simon reference, but it should be. We'll get into what those all mean on the other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Hey, it's Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've had unexpected car trouble, right? We all have. We've all been there, whether it's an accident, whether you've locked your keys in the car. Maybe you go out in the morning and your car just doesn't start, or maybe you got into one of those dreaded accidents. Either way, you know that you need to call somebody right away. And the worst part is having to deal with the insurance company telling you it's going to be hours. Just call Jay's Southland Tow, and they will be out right away. For us, about a year ago, blew a tire on a Friday about 5 o'clock, and we called Jay's Southland Tow. By 6 o'clock, we were up and running and moving again because the guys at Jay's Southland Tow came immediately when we called. And, of course, we didn't plan to blow our tire out. No, it just happens, and that's what happens most times. So keep their number handy, 816-779-4TOW, 816-779-4TOW, or at southlandtow.com. Put it in your phone and forget about it. But when you do get into an accident, or if your car does break down, you don't have to worry about who am I going to call. It's Jay Southland Tow. Whether you're north, south, east, or west, Jay Southland Tow Service is just a phone call away. 816-779-4TOW or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, and Tammy from the Weston, it's Jay's Southland Tow. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if erectile dysfunction is making a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Heartland Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health.
KC, let's get loud at Big Slick 2025. Enjoy comedy, music, and more at the Big Slick Show on May 31st at T-Mobile Center, with all proceeds benefiting Children's Mercy. Tickets are on sale now at bigslickkc.org. Peace and quiet are not invited, but you are.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Jordan Robinson, host of the new podcast, The Women's Hoop Show. Each episode, I'll be joined by a rotating group of women's basketball experts to talk WNBA, college hoops, the new Unrivaled League, and the shifting landscape of the sport. The game is growing, and so are we. Listen to and follow The Women's Hoop Show and Odyssey podcast, available now for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text MIND to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text MIND to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text MIND to 200-300. That's MIND to 200-300. MIND to 200-300.
Today, expect a partly sunny day with a high of 81.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Sometimes the internet listens to you without you knowing it. A group I follow on a golf, it's called the Foreplay Guys. They're from Barstool. It says, what's the biggest red flag for a golf partner? I haven't listened to the audio. I just can't wait to see what they say because we saw a red flag this weekend. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you did. It's 8 minutes worth your time. But 12 minutes or 12 seconds is where the nuts and bolts came from, the Bill Belichick CBS Sunday morning interview.
Is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson his creative muse, as he writes in his book?
Make sure that that's the...
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
So Shadeur Sanders steals the show this weekend, and then Bill Belichick says, hold my beer and my holy shirt of Navy.
Right.
And I'm going to do an interview. And by the way, Jordan, my girlfriend, I'm sure you've heard of her, she's going to be here too. And she's going to cut off a lot of your questions, especially the most important one of, how did y'all meet?
Yeah, it's a simple question. Like, people want to know. That's human nature stuff, right?
Especially when you're in that kind of a spot.
You tell me, and you're like, I started dating this gal, right? I go, oh, where'd you guys meet? Like, it's a normal human question.
Because wasn't the original story they met on a plane?
That's what I heard.
And now it's like, well, no, don't worry about that.
Yeah, well, but tell that story then, if that's how you met. Or did you not meet on a plane and something else? You met I don't know what the answer to the question is, but who gets defensive? Like, we've been married over 17 years now. People still will say, how did you guys meet?
It's kind of a good story.
It's a normal human question. Oh, that's cool. You guys, hey, how'd you guys meet? Well, my friend fixed us up. She thought, oh, cool. How'd you guys meet?
Yeah.
Normal question. How'd you guys meet? We're not discussing that.
Tinder. I don't know. I mean, I just
was she afraid what he was going to say? Like, is he to that point where you, as a quote-unquote caretaker, if you will, are jumping in because you're afraid of what the answer may be? Because that's what that seemed like.
I don't know. It was just very odd, the whole interview. Because, like, I woke up Sunday morning and I was like, okay, what happened in the world last night? Or did I miss anything? Was there anything that's, like, weird? And then I see this interview that's getting, snidbits and cuts of it. And then I'm like, okay, here's the whole interview of 8 minutes. I'm like, this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bill might be cooked.
Yeah.
Because they asked him, like, he loads the question up, and you should just let the guy that you're interviewing have the floor. But he's like, you take pictures, you're a mermaid, you're doing all this stuff, like, which is cool. That's his life. Like, you want to go do all that stuff. But, like, Bill
looked like he didn't have a clue as what that guy was talking about either.
Yeah, that didn't look like the Bill Belichick that I knew. Like, and I don't know him personally, but like, he's been around sports or football for my entire life. And then, you kind of saw his personality outside of the game this year with, like, McAfee stuff and all that sort of thing. You're like, oh, that's Bill. Okay, whatever. And you watch that interview, you're like, there's something off about this.
Yeah.
And again, not my life, not my relationship. If you're happy and you want to do that, go with it. But I gave you the analogy earlier. It's like, you have your buddy. For example, Vip, right? Outgoing, very funny, very, light of the party type of guy. He comes over to your house, and the whole time he's there, he has like one drink. He doesn't say much. And when you leave, you grab by the arm, like, everything all right? And you're like, yeah, okay. And then as soon as the door shuts,
Dave Vip has one drink will be the first.
Yeah. And you look at your wife, and you're like, something's not right. Something was off about that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And you're like, why does his life matter what you do? Well, he's your friend. Something's not right. Like, this just looks off. And somebody might be like, duh, Dusty. She's 24 and he's 74. There's 50-year age gap.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, it's like,
it's hard enough with a 5-year age gap.
Yeah.
Let alone a 50-year age gap.
Right. And so, like, I know people are going to be, okay, we're tired of talking about. This is one of the top news stories of this weekend with an NFL draft, a Royals team that wins 5 of 6, and, like, all this other stuff that's happened. And then you look at this whole situation, you're just like, yeah, there's clearly something not right. There's something that's not being addressed, that's not there. And you look at all the background story, and we talked about it the other day when, she's on the field and she's wearing the Carolina blue jacket. That's cute. It's fun, whatever. But then she's getting involved with, like, team personnel and emails. And then all of a sudden cutting questions off. And you're like, Bill, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but, like, you've been on this earth 50 years longer than this woman. And, like, now all of a sudden, like, you're, like, kind of, like, put back in this, like, glass or this, like, plastic bubble. And it's like, that just doesn't seem like it.
It's almost like she's running the show, right?
Oh,
and look, we've all been there when you're dating somebody, right? Sometimes women adapt and change to the guy they're dating. Sometimes guys will adapt and change to the gals they're dating or whatever. It's called love. You do things weird because you're in love, right? And so I understand making a few changes and whatnot. As you form relationships, you got to give a little to get a little, and it's a give and take type of thing. I don't know why, though, if she's really out for the best of Bill Belichick. A, she allowed him to wear that sweatshirt yesterday.
Was it a sweatshirt or was it a T-shirt?
Was it a T-shirt or
I don't know what it was. It looked like a cutoff T-shirt.
It had
a
hole in it. Like,
it looks like the shirt your dad used to change the oil.
Yes, exactly. And then to clean the dipstick, and then he put that shirt back on. You're like, what are you wearing? Oh, it's my oil change. Fine. But, like, that's what he kind of looked like. Like, they just, like, rustled him out of bed, put him there, said, put on your best shirt, and he came out with this navy T-shirt with a hole in it. Like, why she allowed him to wear that if she truly is, like, his girlfriend? Like, what are we doing here with that T-shirt?
3 feet away.
And then, the fact that she's there like that, like, you know, she cannot be in control of the football program. He's the guy that's won the 6 Super Bowls. He kind of knows what he's doing out there. Doesn't need a lot of help doing something like that. So I just hope for his sake, like, this is what he wants. I mean, like it just felt like a weird interview. So you fished like she was a mermaid, and then you held her up in the air like she was on the Titanic, and he had no answers for that. Like almost like it was news to him.
And he was constantly looking over at her. And then they asked about Robert Kraft. He didn't mention Robert Kraft one time in his book. Not in the eulogy.
No, not in the acknowledgments. No, nothing. Like did not mention Robert Kraft in his book. These guys won 6 Super Bowls and spent 24 years together. No matter how it ended, there's got to be something saying, hey, Robert Kraft hired me and gave me, like, not even in the book, but she's in the book.
His muse.
Like, I guess I just don't understand that whole situation.
And maybe we're not supposed to.
And maybe not. And that's fine.
But I think we should at least have some sort of conversation about it, because it was like something that happened while we were trying to endure sports and like kind of collaborate on the draft. And all of a sudden you're like, why is Bill Belichick trending?
Right.
Why is Jordan trending? He's not played basketball in many years. Oh, it's not that Jordan, it's the girlfriend. And you're like, oh, this interview is weird.
Yeah.
Like it's, I didn't care what Charlie Sheen did, but you better believe it was attention television when he came and did that interview with, what was it, Diane Keaton or whoever it was, and he's like, winning.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And
yeah.
it was like, you watched that, like, you knew there were red flags in that interview, and he's like looking through like a little piece of yarn and talking about tiger's blood, and you're like, I don't care what Charlie
that was a weird interview,
but
right?
you watched.
You did, yeah.
And like you saw Bill Belichick's going to tell all until he's told not to.
Right.
And you're like, really?
And what was the point of that interview? What did we gain from that interview yesterday, other than to see this weird relationship that Belichick has with his girlfriend? Other than that, what did we gain? Like, that was not a good look for North Carolina yesterday. The man wasn't even wearing North Carolina gear.
He just got done changing his oil.
Oh.
So, yeah, I didn't understand that. You talk about the draft this weekend and how we all watched it. The numbers were out. The ratings were out. It was the second highest viewing day of day 2 in the draft's history. A lot of storylines into that. Obviously, the NFL is just the supreme of everything. But then also, Shadeur Sanders sliding the way he did. You say we've seen this before. I don't know if we've seen it to this severity.
Where players slide?
That far.
But
like, he was the number 1 overall pick 9 months ago. And then he was like in the top 3 weeks ago. And he went in the 5th round to the same team that everybody thought that was going to draft him. And then the draft board's there, and it looks like it's a silent clap. Like the owner was like, we're taking him now. It's like, okay, whatever. And it was, from the legendary couch shots to, okay, day 2, day 3. Day 2 or round 2, round 3, this is where he'll fall. Mel Kiper's out here glazing him up. All this sort of stuff is going on. And yet, here's Bob Fescoe Saturday at noon. Appointment television. Has he drafted? Been drafted yet?
I wanted to see.
Yet?
I did. I wanted to see. It kept me interested in the draft through the weekend, which I think it did for everybody based on the television numbers. If Shadeur's not there, or if Shadeur's picked on night 1, probably day 2 and day 3, you just go about your business, look at a sheet when you get it on who the Chiefs draft, and you call it a day. But, I was watching because I wanted to see. The weather didn't help either. You had really nothing to do with how awful it was weather-wise on Saturday and Sunday. But, you have an opportunity to see where Shadeur's going to go because it becomes a human nature story after a while, right? And I always go back to now, like, he may have fallen in the eyes of Mel Kiper and the media draft guys. Maybe he went right where he was supposed to go in the eyes of the talent evaluators, because it wasn't like one team passed on Shadeur. Every team passed on him at least 4 times. Some teams probably passed on him, 5, 6 times with, multiple picks in each round and whatnot. So this guy had plenty of opportunity to be drafted if the talent evaluators thought that he was a guy that should have been drafted. And yes, there are misses in every draft. People will go back to Albert Pujols going in the 10th round of the draft. Like, there are misses in every single draft. It happens. But when everybody's kind of together on this and nobody is willing to take a quarterback that was pretty good on the field in a quarterback-starved league, it tells you there's other things out there. And then the stories start to leak out, like the Brian Daboll interview story that's out there right now, where he wasn't prepared for the interview. He was kind of despondent during the interview. There was another report that came out that during one of these interviews with one of the coaches, he had his earbuds in and was listening to music the whole time. Like, those aren't things that you want your starting quarterback to be doing. You want them to take this seriously, because you need to take it seriously if you're going to be a starting quarterback or a player in the NFL. And I guess it looked like from a lot of these reports and stories that have now come out, he just wasn't taking it seriously. And teams are like, I'm not risking my livelihood. Let's take Brian Daboll in that example. His last year, most likely, unless they turn this thing around, I'm not putting my livelihood on the line for a guy who's not bought in and is not all there in the pre-draft process. I'm not going to worry. I can't change this guy. I'm out. I'm going to take a guy that loves playing football. And then you see the video with him and Cam Ward. And that video, to me, is the most eye-opening of them all. Shadeur's talking about dancing and singing and all this kind of stuff. And Cam Ward's like, I'm just playing football, man. I'm just a football player. That's all I do. I play football. And Cam's like, or Shadeur's like, you got no hobbies? He's like, football, man. Like, and as a football guy, as a GM or a coach, that's the guy you want that's invested in football. You don't want a guy that's using football to benefit everything else. You want a guy that's truly in love with the sport. And over these last couple of days, it sure seems like perception that Shadeur Sanders was in love with being an NFL player, not in love with playing in the NFL.
It's fair. I think the other thing is that his biggest rise and his biggest fall were also his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I know that Deion's not the one playing, but like, when you sell a, Pontiac Grand Prix as a Lexus and people know that it's not, it's just been painted and put an L on the hood.
Yeah.
It's not a Lexus. Like, you can say that it is, but in reality, it's not. And it's not like he came from Colorado with huge numbers. It's not like he came from a huge winning background. He came from a franchise, or I guess a collegiate team that was put back on the map.
Franchises
now. That put that team on the map because of the dad. The Heisman Trophy winner went second overall. And then you waited 3 days until your name got selected. And again, like we've all said, and like a lot of people's takes are today, okay, this is the downfall. Now build yourself back up and prove a bunch of people wrong, because now you have that opportunity. You went in the 5th round. It's not the end all. It's not like you were a UDFA.
No.
You weren't undrafted. You got drafted. Your brother was undrafted, but then got signed and then fired his dad.
And his dad and hired Rosenhaus.
He'll get you paid. And so, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you got talked up a lot, and, truth came out. You showed your true colors, and now you've got to change your perception for everybody else. And let alone, the hardest thing is you got to make it in the NFL. Not only do you have to win everybody over now and get away from that Deion shadow, which will be tough the rest of your life, no matter what, even if you want to believe it is or not. Now you've got to prove that, everybody missed on you, and you got to make it in the NFL, and you've got to buck the trend that is the Cleveland Browns.
Right, exactly. There's a lot there. And then you throw in the Cleveland Brown thing to that as well.
And you built this bed. Now you have to sleep in it.
But Shadeur is the prime example of what I think every young professional athlete is. I've always won. I've always dominated. I've always had success. I've never really had to work hard because I could out-athlete you. Today begins when Shadeur Sanders has to start working to be a professional athlete. Is he going to be able to do that, right? Is he going to be able to put in that time, the want to put in that time, the hours that it takes to be great in professional sports? Some guys just don't want to do it. Some guys just can't do it because they're not used to doing it. And for 20-some years of their whole life, they just went out and out-athleted everybody, or, whatever the case may be. And then reality hits them, and they've got to work hard. It's not about, I think Shadeur's a good football player. Off the field, that's where the question marks obviously have been risen for this guy, because off the field, it clearly looks like he doesn't have it in order based on all those stories that came out.
Not only that, you want to know how tough it is to transition to the NFL? Go look at the Trevor Lawrence study. Guy didn't lose a game in like middle school or high school.
Yep.
What'd he lose? One game at Clemson?
I don't think he lost a game at Clemson, did he?
He never lost a game.
Never lost a game.
And then he got drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's like, hey, you're going to lose.
Right.
But you still got to get better, even though you've been the best quarterback since you were 7 years old.
Okay. Yep.
And it's been tough for Trevor Lawrence.
It's really been tough for Trevor Lawrence.
And Trevor Lawrence was the complete opposite of Shadeur Sanders.
Right.
He was good. He was a starting quarterback. He was a national championship winner and everything there, and was quiet and humble, and then got to the league and got even more humbled without even being exalted. So, I mean, it's a
I mean, ask
It's
any
tough.
Major League Baseball player. The first time they see that curveball break, bro, they're like, oh,
we're hoping we see this with MJ Melendez in the minors.
Right. Like you can get it back. And for Shadeur Sanders, he's got the opportunity now to create his own narrative the entire way. It's a blank slate for Shadeur. There's no pressure on him whatsoever. There's no bust that's going to be linked to him. Go out there and be a great NFL quarterback.
Not only that, if you missed it, Brandon Beane went absolutely nuts.
No, it was. I was just listening to the last few minutes of your show before I came on, waiting on here.
All right.
Sounds like 2018 all over with you guys.
Oh, how so?
Well, you guys were bitching in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen, and now you guys are bitching that we don't have a receiver. I don't get it. Like, we just hold on, let me talk. We just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. A year ago, I get you guys asking why we didn't have receivers, but I don't understand it now. You just saw us lead the league in points when you add all the postseason. No one scored more points than the Buffalo Bills, including the Super Bowl champions. So you just saw us do it without Stephon Diggs, same group. How is this group not better than last year's group? Our job is to score points and win games. Where do we need to get better? Defense. We did that. So I get it. You got to have a show, and you got to have something to bitch about. But bitching about wide receiver is one of the dumbest arguments I've heard.
Okay.
I'm glad that Veach likes this.
See, I wish Q would do that. Come on, go, look, I've been listening to you guys. You're idiots.
Well, he tells us he will not be listening.
Yeah, that is true. But that's the GM of the Buffalo Bills going on their morning show on their flagship station this morning. Yeah, I was listening to you guys are whacked.
It was awesome. Good on the host, too, asking that question. You could tell he wanted to, and he said, what do you think? What are you saying? That was good on the host, I thought.
I mean, who are we talking about wide receiver-wise that stand out? Khalil Shakir was pretty good, right?
He's not a number one, yeah.
Keon Coleman?
Just drafted him, yeah. Rookie year. No, the receivers, I think the hosts are correct. Brandon Beane can get all upset they want.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at the depth chart.
Yeah,
Mac.
It's rough.
I'm looking at the depth chart, and I'm like, what am I missing?
Yeah, Matt Collins, okay.
He's not there anymore.
Oh, yeah, he's left. He's gone.
He went to New England, didn't he? Or the Jets or someplace
in New England.
New England, yeah, that's it.
I mean, here's their depth chart. Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer, Khalil Shakir, Caden Prather, who doesn't have a number, who was drafted in the 7th round, is number 2 on the depth chart, by the way. Jalen Virgil, Curtis Samuel.
Okay, Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, you know Curtis Samuel because he's been in the league 100 years.
Forever.
Right? Yeah. And then your number 3 players on the depth chart, KJ Hamler, Terrell Shavers, Laviska Shenault.
He's good.
Whoa.
I've always been a Laviska. That's a guy I'm going to bat for. He should have been a stud in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So those are your 9.
That's rough.
And those guys are saying, like, about the wide receivers, that's Brandon Beane knowing his wide receivers stink and him going all mad and getting defensive because they hit a nerve, because they probably tried to do something wide receiver-wise, just like the Royals tried to get Santander here this offseason, right? It didn't work out, and it stinks, right? They probably tried to go after a wide receiver or draft a wide receiver. They didn't get the guy that they wanted. They're still bent about that, so the GM's going to take it out on the radio hosts.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, he had some takes he had to get off his chest, apparently.
I guess even GM's got hot takes. They want to spitfire takes on that one, man.
He's probably running routes in the parking lot of a football game, too. Got my gloves on.
I'd burn him.
What are you doing? Just loosening up my arm. Like that little kid in that Cam Newton commercial back in the day.
Yes.
We'll come back. We'll get to our brioche of the weekend here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
March 2012. That's when we started Connolly Plumbing Solutions. It has been a wild ride. If you have had us take care of plumbing issues for you, we thank you. If you haven't, next time you need a plumber, we would love the opportunity to win you over. Locally owned and family operated, serving the entire Kansas City metro area. Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. But what if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you could sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9393 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
That's right. Final segment here on Fescoe and Dusty with Mac Murray as well on a Monday. Looks like the sun's trying. You might mow today, actually, by the way.
It's efforting to get out right now.
Yeah,
I know my neighbor mowed 4:30 yesterday. Like
4:30.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I'm saying for Mac, 4:30 on a Sunday is a bit much. But I think for Mac, like if he did it yesterday, it didn't rain overnight, so you should have another 12 hours of dryness underneath.
Looks like 50% chance of storms tomorrow. Storms all day Wednesday, 70% chance on Thursday. Then Friday, Saturday, the sun comes
See, they
out.
were calling for like bad storms today. Like you're talking last week at one of the soccer games. Like, yeah, next Monday could be really bad. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. But now it looks like it's kind of dissipated and moved out or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, you could probably get out there. So what I'm getting at 4:30 yesterday, no rain since. You got plenty of dry grass. You can get out there and mow that thing.
You
You're fine.
You can go home and nap it till about 2 o'clock. Wake up 2:30.
Yeah. Put a big fan out in your yard and dry it a little bit more.
Yeah, I've heard the leaf blower guy go around the leaf blower, get all the grass. I've seen that.
I love my leaf blower.
I know you do.
Leaf blowers are great. We use it all the time.
Yeah, I need
for
to invest.
everything. Yeah.
Also, do either of you? I can ask this.
I've used it in the house before too. I just got so mad that the kids weren't clean. I just started leaf blowing inside the house. The amount of stuff that got picked up.
Like, okay, all right, geez. Do y'all have a saw I could borrow by chance?
Yeah, what kind of saw?
I don't know. Like I need to cut down
like trees, or
no,
are you
like
talking
a decent
about
sized branch of a bush?
So you need a chainsaw.
Yes,
I've got a chainsaw. I've got two of them actually.
Yes,
but I need to get some oil.
You
for
don't
the
need
one,
hedge trimmers. You need a saw.
I think I need a saw. I don't think trimmers are going to get this thick of a branch.
I was thinking like the little hedge trimmer, not like the.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
not what your boy Weinbaum was using at the zoo.
Like, are you talking about a big, thick branch? Or are you talking about a smaller branch?
Big, thick.
You probably need the chainsaw. Just, But again, why are you doing a chainsaw on a tree on a property you rent?
Doing some yard work, baby.
Are you allowed to do that, first of all?
Yeah, I think so. Well,
yeah, I think so.
You better check with the owner. Hey, I'm going to take this tree down. Do you care?
It's a bush. It's an ugly. It's
just drive by Mac's house. You look like Leatherface in his backyard.
I mean, like you got to be careful with that rental.
No,
you got to make
right,
sure you
right.
can't just start ripping up bushes. This guy's like, maybe my mother planted that. When she was 12 and passed away. Like it's always been her favorite. Mac just ripped it up. I don't blame you. I'm kind of that way too. I don't care. I just start.
It's ugly. It's in the front. I'm just like, get out of here.
Yeah. So you better be careful about that. So ask your landlord first if that's something you should do, and if so, I'll get some oil for the chainsaw, and you can have fun.
Thank you. Yes.
You guys have some meteorologists on the text line?
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah. They're still calling for storms tonight. Low chance of storms today, but if they happen, it'll likely be severe.
Oh.
So there you go. Okay. And then from True Green Thumb, you guys are killing me.
Yeah, I'm looking at the extended forecast. I just see some wind and a 10% chance at 4 a.m. for rain. So I'm not too worried about it.
Of course, it's going to storm on our way to work. As if it would never.
10% chance. We'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
All right, brioche of the weekend.
Brioche of the weekend.
Big brioche guy.
Love that. Yeah, good take.
Mac, you want to get it started?
Oh, it's me? Okay, great.
Sure, why not?
I love it. Somebody introduced Mac to Salzal. The Salzals? I don't know what that is.
Better call Salzal.
Great show. Royals game Saturday night. It's the brioche of the weekend for me. The weather staved off. Speaking of, thought it could rain, but stayed pretty nice. It was good. Good temperature, about 60 degrees.
And you had zero troubles.
Zero troubles, zero bubbles, baby. Had a nice big surf side.
Good.
It was awesome. Won the game. Vinny had the home run. I think it's because I was there, obviously.
That's probably why.
No, it was cool. It was Hannah's first MLB game, first Royals game.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool. Did she get a certificate and everything? My first MLB game? And she should have.
Were you guys on the kiss cam?
No, I tried. I was like, come on, yo.
How do you try?
I'm like, yo.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I want to be on the kiss cam.
Yeah, I got my arm around my girl. Let's go.
Can I ask this? And I'm going to be just a bitter man here for a second. Why do we get so excited over old people kissing?
It's awesome.
It
Love is
awesome.
still there.
Yeah.
I
just
fire
did that
ignited.
Saturday. That's so funny.
Because every kiss cam ends with some old couple. Everybody lose their minds. Like,
I love it.
I do too.
I love when the old man's in his suspenders and she's got the floral hat on. He takes it off and just throws one on.
Goes
her.
in.
Usually it's the woman who's more like, oh no,
Even better.
But yesterday I think it was the gal who leaned in, the older lady.
Oh, nice.
Female human, however we're.
Have you ever been on
phrasing
the
it.
kiss cam?
No, my wife is like mad. She's like, we need to be on the kiss cam. I go, I know. We would have a time on that kiss cam. That's probably why they don't put us up there.
Ew. I don't want to see overdo it. Just nice.
No, I mean we'd have fun, but I mean every time it's like the old people. You're like, oh yay, Helen and Mabel are kissing Tom and Tom. Yeah. Like old people don't have sex.
They might.
Some old people have more sex than young people. I just want to win, Jen.
Some of them go from oh no to oh yeah. Just ask Drew Nixon. My brioche of the weekend, I want to say, is the NBA playoffs, but it's paired with something else that's kind of funny. But the NBA playoffs were awesome this weekend.
They're great, man.
I was sitting you play-by-play of the Clippers game, the way that ended against the Nuggets, because I knew you were at the game.
Royals game,
and Drew and I and you are in a group of where we just get nerded out on NBA.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, 33-9 run to close out this game. Jokic throws up an air ball, and Gordon hits it with an alley-oop, basically, with the time running out. It was nuts. The Knicks game yesterday was crazy how that ended against the Pistons. No call.
Yeah, Detroit should have free throws.
NBA's better than the Knicks in it, man. Get them all the way. Get them all the way to the end, and then let them, lose in dramatic fashion. I mean, Spike Lee was out there jumping into KAT's arms at the end of the game, fanboying it up.
He's a part of it, man.
It's better if they beat the Celtics. I know you're a Celtic fan, but it's better for the NBA.
I don't know.
It is. Of course it is. It's much better for the NBA. Does Boston have Spike Lee? No. I rest my case.
They got Bill Simmons.
Nobody cares about him, though. He's not big enough.
No,
my other brioche of the weekend, which I thought was funny because obviously the internet's undefeated. Shadeur Sanders tweeted, "Thank you, God," after he was drafted. He was then responded by KFC.
Oh, the KFC tweet is just brilliant. This is real then? Because it's great.
It's got the check mark next to KFC.
All right.
It says, "The Colonel was rejected 1,009 times before finally landing our famous original recipe. Sometimes all of Sanders needs is a little time to cook. Congrats, Shadeur."
Yeah, that was really good.
Real or not real? Yeah. Sometimes the Sanders just needs time to cook.
Right.
Oh, boy.
I'd like to give my brioche of the weekend to the kid who prank called everybody because I think it's hysterical. And all these holy rollers out here trying to act like he committed this crime. And oh my God, the people clutching their rosary beads on this one. My God, he's a college kid. Was it right? Probably. And a lot of it's in jest, obviously. But should he have done it? No. Does he deserve to get all of this flack? Does his dad deserve to be fired? Of course not. It was a bad mistake. Father can handle it with his son and will. But ultimately, my brioche of the weekend, Brett Veach and the Chiefs nailing this draft, man. From a positional standpoint, the players they got, from where they were ranked to what they were able to do, I'm excited to watch this Royals kid. I'm excited to watch that Smith kid play running back. I'm excited to watch Simmons dominate and get inducted to the Hall of Fame so we can play Binkley's comments over and over again that he hates this pick. At what point will Binkley say, all right, I was wrong on this one. It may happen. It may never happen. I don't know. But I just like the way that the draft played out for the Chiefs, man. I'm really excited to see some of these young kids get out there and play because they all have speed, and that is so key in developing this offense to where it needs to be.
They announced Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State.
I hate this pick, actually. Don't like it. Nope.
Nope. Binkley on Shadeur Sanders?
I think he's going to be Cleveland Brown. They have 2 picks in the next 4 picks. So they pick the first pick in the second round and the 4th pick in the second round. So I think that there could be Shadeur Sanders there. And I think the 40th pick, he could go. I hope he picked tonight. I do believe. I mean, who knows? I do think the guy's talented. I think people were kind of worried about a lot of the other things that were involved, maybe too cocky, didn't interview well or whatever. Who cares? I just know the guy was sacked 152 times, didn't have a running game or an offensive line, and still was good. But not a lot of teams like the Browns. I think the Browns could get him in one of their top 4 picks here in the second round.
Top 5 rounds.
Top 5 rounds. Yeah. Binkley thought he'd be the first pick on day 2. I think we all.
I was there with him.
Everybody was there. We all thought he'd be picked on Friday.
No doubt.
And then that didn't happen.
They announced Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State.
I hate this pick, actually. Don't like it.
Let's see what those guys from 10 to 2 have to say about Bill Belichick's red flag, Shadeur Sanders slipping in the draft, and those Royals that are starting to play some ball again. And as always, on your Monday afternoon or your Monday evening, heck, do it on your Tuesday. Go do something nice for somebody. You never know. Could change their day, their week, their month, their year. It is simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay safe, stay kind. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Cody Golden Drew coming up next.